There I am. Goofing off in Salt Lake. See if anybody's awake. Give it a couple minutes. Man, can't figure out where to put this camera. Somebody just popped in. Ah. Mike, how you doing, buddy? What does it say? Welcome to live chat room. I hate that it disappears. Forgive me for my ignorance with live YouTube. Still at the terminal. Goofing around. Bored out of my mind. Watching The Punisher. But whoa, back off with that. Back off with that. You don't need to be seeing my face that close. But I ran into the terminal and grabbed some snackage and a soda so I can finish the Punisher. And I tried to walk through the tractor bay and the lunchroom and everything with the camera on live just so I could show it, but the stupid thing wouldn't connect. And I finally got to the truck and I took it off of Wi-Fi and put it on regular data and it connected. I figured, what the heck, see if anybody's awake. Is there anybody in there? Hello? Hello, is this thing on? Give it a couple minutes. If nobody shows up, no point in me staring at the phone and talking to it. Because I really didn't have nothing to say. I really just wanted to see what you guys were up to. But nobody seems to be there. I'm going to just have to go back to my Punisher. Gonna have to go back to my Punisher. Smart view on. See if I can't get my... Not much. Just goofing around in Salt Lake here. Aha! I did it. Ow! Damn it. Short truck. Look at that. It's a phone and a phone and a phone and a phone. But I can watch you on TV. Anyways, what's going on, man? Anything new and exciting? I'm a happy camper. I'm not stuck in any snowstorms or closed interstates or surfing around on ice. So I'm bummed that I'm stuck at the terminal waiting for him to fix my truck. But I guess it would be nice to have the APU working. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning last night to run the truck because I don't want the batteries to go dead. And I don't want to be stuck there. I don't want to be stuck with dead batteries. But let's see. Harry Philbrick, are you going to get the APU fixed while you're in? Yes. Yeah, that's the main thing. Oh, my smart view connected. Let me turn my TV off or no, I can just turn the smart view off. Disconnect. There we go. Yeah, that's the main reason. I've got that broken pigtail, but taping it up with electrical tape was, I guess, DOT okay. But I met my dispatcher for the first time today, and I told him when I found out that I was going to be stuck here till morning, I was like, you know what? Maybe let's just run. Turn that off. Maybe let's just run and we'll get this stuff fixed later. But he was like, yeah, you know, you better just go get it fixed. I can understand because they can create problems. Mike McDonald, you drive a repo truck in Los Angeles? That's freaking cool. or has your truck been repoed? Are you a repo guy? I used to watch. I watched all of Repo Nut's videos on YouTube from the beginning up until his demise. That was the coolest thing, and I was so sad to see the guy turn basically into a drug addict and lost everything when his wife died. That was a saga, man, because he had a lot of videos, and he built himself a pretty good company, and then his wife ended up with cancer, and you know, as soon as she died, that was it. He was done. Oh, let's see. I had to scroll for more messages. You say your name Mecky? Mecky, is that how you pronounce your name? Mecky White? What's up? Not much, just chilling. You're watching my other videos? That's cool. Yeah, I have fun making those videos. And I'll tell you guys what, man. I know I came off to one guy as an a-hole, a truck driver basher or whatever, and I felt horrible because I didn't mean nothing by any of it. You know, I was just kind of goofing on the guy. But one thing everybody's got to know is all us prime drivers drive slow. I mean, we're just in slow trucks. So when I was goofing on the guy for driving slow, I didn't mean nothing by it. I was just goofing. But I think I straightened it out with that guy, which made me feel better. 15 years as a repo dude, man. That's an exciting job. That's got to be an exciting job. I had an ex-brother-in-law who used to repo cars, but only for a short time. Yeah, that's got to be a cool job. Let's see. Harry Philbrick says, better to keep up with the problems instead of pushing them to the wayside and building up. Yeah, that would cause more downtime later on. Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you what, when I was down for that day in that frozen wonderland of Minnesota, where the truck gelled up, I just got my freaking downtime pay for that. Damn, I don't know why they paid me so much for it, but I'm not going to complain. I was expecting $65, but I'm not going to ask them, did you guys mess up and overpay me? Because I did that once before with a paycheck when I was in TNT. I go, "Wait, they paid me too much," and I called the fleet manager, and he goes, "Oh, damn, I double paid you." So he took $700 back. It sucked. Let's see. Brent says, "How's it hanging, brother?" Or brother. It's hanging. No, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say it's hanging to the left, but no, that's not cool to say that. It's I'm doing good, man. I'm doing much better now that I'm off that I-80. I tell you, man, I don't wish that crap on anybody. If you guys seen that video I made where I did the old, "Oh my God, Trucker Brown, what do I do?" Because I hit that slick spot on I-80, that slick patch. Man, those, I'll drive 100 miles an hour over those ones now that I've driven on that crap I was on. That was slick. And there was one point I went on the message board and even asked about it. Let me get over here so I don't have to hold the phone. I even asked about it, but at one point there was a wreck in front of me, and I had to slow down. And when I slowed the truck down, it started, the wheels kept locking up and releasing, while I was just letting the truck coast. And, no, I didn't have the exhaust brake on. I don't know what the hell. And then last night when we got stuck, when the I-80 closed down, that was funny, man. The CB was going nuts in the place. And of course, at one point, boom, it had to get racist. But myself and a couple other guys, told the dude, hey, man, you need to just pipe it down and keep your ignorant ass to yourself. And he shut up. But I was in the truck stop and I was talking to some dudes, and I happened to mention, you guys are, you're truck drivers and whatnot. And I told them what was going on, and they made a good point, because I said it happened twice. And he goes, it happened twice, both times where those wrecks were, right? Yeah. He goes, why do you think they wrecked there? It was really slick, maybe even some black ice going on. And your engine was actually locking your wheels up. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. Let's see what we got here. Mackay. That's how you say your name. Mackay. Okay. I can do that. That's funny. I spell my last name to people when they're trying to figure out how to say it. Hagei. I'll put it down H-E-Y, hey, and then G-E-E, Gee, and then an I. That works. Micaiah says, how you say, it's how you say it. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. All right. Okay, and Brant says, safer to drive slow. Look at the fast ones crashed on the side of the road. Yeah, I was looking at that video and you really couldn't see them, but there was trucks over there off the side of the road, a pickup pulling a trailer, and then one of the gals in the truck stop, she had a bunch of dogs in there, and it was really cool. That loves let all the four-wheelers or even the truck drivers bring in their animals. Pretty much it was the four-wheelers. The truck drivers, we have heat and stuff in the truck. But a couple of ladies, they had a bunch of dogs, and she was telling me that her pickup truck, she goes, it's never happened before. It just kept spinning out. She'd it was horrible. She just didn't know what to do. She goes, I couldn't keep the damn thing out of the ditch. But they let them bring in all their dogs into the restaurants and everything, which was cool. Harry says, just take some seat time to become a little more comfortable driving in that weather. Yeah, you got that right. And I've gotten a little more comfortable than when I first started driving in that weather. As you see from those one videos where I'm driving at night and there's snow blowing over the road and stuff, that stuff originally freaked me out. And I mean, I was okay with that, even driving that at night. It was just mesmerizing. It was just cool. That stuff don't bother me. And now the little slick spots don't bother me. It's that full-blown ice patch that you're driving on. And yesterday, right before they shut down I-80, you could see where they scraped it. And there was still probably a half-inch, three-quarter inch of a layer of ice down. And every now and again, I would test the water. And what I do to test the water is, I'm going and I'll just give it a little bit of acceleration and see if the tires hold. And I'll tell you what, man, not a bit. Every time I'd accelerate, boom, I'd break loose and the traction control light would come on. And that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to shut this down. And as I was getting off, I decided, well, I'm going to stay on. And I called 511 and they're like, the I-80 is closed. I'm like, it is? Okay, better get off. All right, let's see here. Mackay, yes, okay. Harry, does Prime have CBs in their trucks, or is that on you? That's on you. They're wired for CB, and they have the crappy stock antenna built into the roof, which Myself, I would pay the money and put external antennas on. I was thinking about doing that with this truck, but this truck is I'm only keeping this truck for not that long, and it's like, well, what if I don't get a Freightliner when I get the other truck? Then I have the brackets and stuff, so I'm gonna just wait until this lease is up on this truck. I got it. Cool. Does Mackay says, does Prime still have the lightweight trucks for more pay on the reefer side? Yes, as a matter of fact, when I did my home time, I actually went into leasing and said, hey, I want to switch to a lightweight. It's an extra 5 cents a mile. She goes, okay, here's the keys to this one. Go check it out and let me know. So I went in there and I checked it out, and my wife was with me. And we kind of went through some crap where we had an extra couple bills hit us that we weren't expecting, and it really financially screwed us. So I was like, you know what? Let me go into a lightweight. And then, of course, home time to getting into this not running and breaking down, and now I'm not running again. But I don't know if you guys ever seen a lightweight truck, but basically, let's see if I can show you this. Basically, the bed is at the back of the seat, so you don't have any of this cabinet space up here or over here, and you don't have any of that. Yeah, it's a mess up there. That's where I keep my junk, my microwave. This is the upper bunk. I'm running out of food, man. I'm running out of food. I ran out of water. I have to get up Walmart. But you have nowhere to put a refrigerator. I had to buy this refrigerator myself. I bought it used for a couple $100. But as you can see, I'm out, man. I am out of food. But it sucks because let me get back over here. It sucks because the shuttle takes you to Walmart at about noon here, and I don't think I'm going to be around. Let's see. James says dogs are delicious. Really? Where can you get dog? I'll try it as long as it's legal. Ew, dog. Ugh. All right. Brant says hot dogs. Oh, do you mean hot dogs? I love hot dogs. Oh God, I'm thinking of eating an actual dog. Or do you mean an actual dog? Oh man. Brant says that's why I want to train during winter. Well, you know what? I was thinking about that. If you're in PSD, okay, fine. You've got your trainer sitting beside you. He has to. That is the law during PSD training. But if you're in TNT, his happy ass is sleeping back there. Okay? And now, if I was a trainer and I had a TNT student and it was winter like this, you bet your sweet ass I'd be sitting up there with them, to help them with anything. That truck looks familiar. But, otherwise, trainer would be sleeping, and I don't know, man. I'd be sure hell afraid to wake up my trainer at the time if I could. Hey, man, what do I do in this situation? I just remember sitting in a restaurant with him, and he was talking to another truck driver. They were laughing their ass off at me, going, he's going to crap himself when his truck gets all out of shape and wiggles and wobbles and everything in the winter, because that was my biggest fear of trucking, is driving through this winter crap. And where I was at on the I-80, there was a couple of good downgrades, and then they call it Parley's Canyon, which is a steep grade coming into the last stretch of Salt Lake City, coming into Salt Lake City on the I-80. I mean, you're exhaust braking it all the way to number 3 to keep under control on that. I'm thinking, oh my God, that's going to be slippery. So this morning, I told the dispatch, hey, okay, I've checked everything out. The only thing I'm not sure of is that parlays whatever, as far as getting information on it. And he came back and said, yeah, if there's ever any weather on parlays, go I-84 to, I wrote it down, but it's a way around it. All right, that's okay. Harry says, Mackay, yes, they do an extra 5 cents for lightweights. Yeah, the 5 cents for lightweights. But if you're thinking about a lightweight, do it. Do it. Don't go into a condo first, because that's where my problem was. I went into a condo and it's like, man, I love having the cabinets and the refrigerator. Now in a lightweight, they have the passenger seat removed, and you can actually put an inexpensive refrigerator in and then strap your microwave to the top of it. That's what I was going to do, and I was going to sell this one off. The only problem is, and I could be wrong, this is what I hear, and this is what the mechanics here at Prime told me. It's best to have an actual 12-volt refrigerator that's built for these trucks. They were saying that the cheaper ones, the $100 and some ones that you plug into the inverter, they say that they tend to break a lot because they're not designed for all the shaking and, the different voltages and whatnot that the inverter does. But that's just what I heard. Kai says the 2019 Cascadias don't make them anymore. They don't make light. Oh, that's interesting, because I think I've never seen an international lightweight or a Peterbilt lightweight. Maybe they're going to do away with. Maybe they're going to do away with lightweights. I don't know. The guy says, "Why don't you do a lease with Prime?" Let me just touch on the lease thing here real quick. And I want to read a couple of those comments. Well, I originally was going to lease. I did the lease class and everything. And I don't know, I started thinking about it. One, when I was on the bus going to the airport to go home, there was, not the bus, the shuttle. There was a couple of guys getting ready to upgrade, and they were talking about, oh man, leases, I looked in, so we talked, and they basically were talking about how horrible leasing is and whatnot. And I decided, like an idiot, let me start looking up stuff about lease, and I was just seeing negative. So I was still going to do it. I did my home time, went to Prime in Springfield to get a truck, and she's all, oh yeah, you're like number 50 or whatever for lease in line, and I was home for like 10 days. I'm like, oh geez, I gotta go to work, or I gotta get going. So I was on the fence anyway, so I moved over to company. I said, how long to get a truck? She goes, oh well, there's like 10 people ahead of you, some nonsense like that. So it took like a day and a half to get a company truck. And I figured, you know what, let me learn how to do the clock, let me go through a winter, and then I'll do it. If I decide to do it, I'll do it after winter time, because I could only imagine having a $1,200 a week payment right now with the way I've been running. I would have, so I'll probably do lease, try it. Now, everyone always says, oh, it doesn't hurt if you do lease and then you don't do it. You just give the truck back. It's a walk away lease. Yeah, but they give you a week free. They give you your first week of lease, they don't charge you for all at once. In other words, if your lease is going to be $1,000 a week, they don't charge you that $1,000. What they do is they put it on, they pull $30, I think she said 30 or 50 a week out of your check until you pay that first week payment off. So if I went lease and I decided in 2 months I don't want to anymore, I go back to company, I still have to pay for that first week of lease. So it's a walk away, but you're still going to be paying for a while. Okay. So, yeah, I'll probably try lease eventually. All right, Brent says, like a Japanese condo. That's what was making me laugh. because their condos are so small, or their apartments. And then again, he's funny. Brand says cats are more a delicacy. When I read that a minute ago, I was just thinking of my cats, and I don't know why I was thinking about eating one of them. Oh man, what the hell! I love Chinese food, and Chinese food is mostly made out of cat. All right. William R says, I went condo and I do not regret it. Yeah. I I would really like that 5 cents more a mile. Um, but the way I was looking at it is look at all these super truckers. And when I say super truckers, guys, I don't use that as they're an a-hole or they're a bad person. I actually say it as they're somebody who can drive 80 mile an hour on the slick roads, or they look the part of a truck driver. They got their baseball cap on that's really rounded off, the cut off sleeves. They just are a trucker. They're an old school or all-in trucker. They're going to wear the boots, the jeans, the belt buckle, all that. That's all I mean by super trucker. Super trucker is exactly what they sound like. They're a trucker that can do it. They can get it done. Now I forgot. Oh, that you got these super trucker, old school trucker. They're driving those 389 or whatever they are, Peterbilts with those coffin sleepers that are literally a bed. They've been doing that forever. The problem is I'm used to my space. I'm used to the cabinets. When you look at a lightweight truck, man, you have no space anywhere. You got some cabinets above the bed, but I don't know, man. I like my condo. Let's see. Harry says, did you pick your fridge up at Walmart? No, this refrigerator is actually designed for this truck. It's built into the cabinet. I was looking for one. They're like, this refrigerator is almost $600 brand new. I was looking for one, and somebody was advertising in Springfield at the Springfield terminal that they had one of these refrigerators for sale for $150. So I messaged him. I was in Illinois, and I just happened to be going for home time. I messaged him and said, hey, I'll be in Springfield tonight. I want to buy that fridge. She says, okay, that's cool. Just let me know when you get there. Well, she messaged me when I was driving there and just says, yeah, are you on your way? And I said, yeah, I'll be there in, an hour or whatever it is. Okay, cool. Never heard from her. Never was able to contact her again. Nothing. So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I came across this one. They wanted $200 for it. And I thought it was 80 miles. Here goes my Qualcomm. I thought it was 80. I was searching 80 miles around Springfield. They ended up being in Oklahoma, which was way too far. And her husband retired is why they had the refrigerator. And she goes, well, there goes Qualcomm.
You have 3 unread messages.
She goes, if you're ever coming this way, let us know. And if we haven't sold it, we can meet you and, whatever. Boom, I come back from home time, and guess where they dispatch me? To Oklahoma. I call her. I looked at my GPS, and I was going to pass, where are you at there? There I go, well, I can stop at this Love's. She goes, that's perfect. She goes, that's where my husband used to always go. Went, they met me there, picked it up, plugged it in. It's been working good ever since. I was at a truck stop, and the guy I was talking to next to me, I didn't have a drill to make the holes for it, to bolt it to the cabinet. He had one, so I went to go ahead and do that, and there was holes there. Somebody already had a refrigerator in there. Okay, then Harry says, what kind of overall shape was the company truck when you picked it up? I will be in Springfield February 25th. This thing, I guess it's fine. When I looked at this truck, I almost missed this. I took video of the truck and pictures because they will charge you for anything wrong with this truck when you turn it in. Anything. So they tell you, make sure you write everything down. So there's dents and scrapes in it, and just paint peeling off of it and things like that. Well, I wrote all that stuff down, and the only thing they fixed was the deer guard was completely rusted, and so they painted it. Well, it's all rusting again now, and what I have the truck 4 months, 5, something like that. Because rust is like cancer, man. Unless you sand it off down to bare metal, prime it, and etch it and prime it, it's gonna just keep coming back. So the next day, I go to get the truck, and nothing was fixed, but that's fine. I noticed that one of the brackets that hold I don't know what it's called, the brake arm or something, if you're doing in orientation, I know they did it in Salt Lake, I don't know about Springfield, but they'll bring you over to the tire shop, and the tire shop guy will take you out to a truck and show you stuff, and he'll show you this bracket that goes to the rear end, the differential, and where they tend to crack. This one had that bracket cracked. So I took it over to the tractor shop and said, hey, this needs to be fixed. So they welded it. But while I'm standing there, I noticed the freaking fairings on the side of the truck were all broken and just dangling there. Thank goodness that I noticed that. Otherwise, I would have been paying for it as they fell off on the interstate. So they drove bolts through it to hold it. I just Mickey Moused the hell out of it. But that's fine. Hey, if I was a lease guy, they would have fixed everything. All right, let's see. But, I had a lot of breakdowns in this truck. A couple of them because things that were repaired were just repaired wrong, but that's nature of the beast. That's trucking. Truck's been pretty damn good. This gel up problem, I'm surprised that I'm not being told, well, you're going to have to pay for this, because technically they could just say I didn't put enough anti-gel in it, and it, screwed the truck up. They didn't, thank goodness. But, I was thinking they might, because I know one of the YouTubers, Jay Canal, has a story where he worked for Melton, and he gelled up, and they charged him $800 and some dollars for gelling up. Okay, so we got, James says, he says, dogs were in the restaurant and give me the poodle and a cup of coffee. Oh, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Man, I take this medication that makes me stupid, okay, guys? So I apologize for that. And I'm not BSing. It actually, a side effect, it makes you stupid. But it keeps me from being crazy. So I guess I'd rather be stupid than crazy. I gotta get on and tell that story of being bipolar. I think it's a good story, and I think some people who might be bipolar and not realize it might benefit them. All right, so Brant, yeah, it was funny. Yeah, Ryan says the space is nice. Yeah, it is. It is. The condo, I could probably still put my TV up where it was at, but I would have probably put the Xbox up over the cabinets above, and that kind of stuff. Brant says he wonders how they handle in snow and ice the lightweight. Probably the exact same. They aren't that much lighter, I don't believe. I think I read somewhere, or somebody told me they're only like 5,000 pounds lighter. All it does is it lets you could carry a little more weight in the trailer, and you're going to get a little bit better gas mileage. Like someone was saying, full-size condos, you got to maintain a 7 mile per gallon or above fuel mileage, and a lightweight is 8. But I think mostly they do it to save fuel. I have been asked before by driver's lineup, when they're going to dispatch me, whether I drive a lightweight or a condo. I guess because the trailer sitting on the yard it obviously must be a certain weight, and so a lightweight has to pull it. Okay. Trucker John, U-joints. U-joints. What do you mean by U-joints? Are you talking about why my truck was doing that whole diddly-dee dance? I don't know what you mean by U-joints. Did somebody say something that would say U-joints? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm running too slow. Remember, I'm half stupid. Okay. Does Prime have a yard in Dallas? They I have a list of their yards somewhere. I think I would have to look, man. I think they do. I know they have a yard in Laredo, but I think they do. They have them. I've been to their yard in Colorado, which is right there by the TA, and I've been to the Laredo yard. And what other yard have I been to? I have a list of their yards somewhere, but I really haven't. I went to the Denver yard to do a swap on it with the guy. Okay, Harry says, for being a company driver, it seems like that there are a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, even though most are small. Not sure if that's industry standard or not. No, there really isn't out-of-the-pocket expenses. The only thing you pay for out-of-pocket is, one, to have your comm data card. They charge you $1 a week. Okay? And number two, whenever you use that comm data card, it costs you $1. So, like, when I was broke down, I had to get $100 out so I could pay cash for a taxi, cash for a hotel room, and get reimbursed by Prime. Well, they reimbursed me all that already on this pay Tuesday when pay period came through. The problem is they don't reimburse that $1. So yeah, you're usually out $1 whenever you use that, or when you write a comm check. Now, when you write a comm check, my trainer used to send a Qualcomm message in and say, I need oh man, what the hell's it called? I need a, here, I can tell you right now. I need an express code, he used to say. And they would come back and they'd give him a code and everything was cool and good to go. I don't want too much light on me because my face will break the camera. And so that's how I did it. And about the third time, my dispatcher said, I think he called me, and he said, why are you doing express codes? He goes, you know that costs you $2.50. Like, what? And that's where now I just call in, or I send a message and I say, lumper fee is X amount of dollars, and they'll come back and say, on card. And what that did is they put that much money you asked for on your comm data card, and now it's available to write on a comm check. It costs you $1. So really only out of pocket is $1. What do you think is out of pocket, by the way? Now, okay, you might mean because I had to pay for the hotel and all that out of pocket. But they reimbursed me. Okay, Brant says, would love to hear the story. What story is that? Is that I feel so stupid that I have to ask that. Okay, and Harry says, oh, I thought you had to pay out of pocket for gel. Oh no, if you're a lease driver, you pay out of pocket. Now, here's the funny thing is I just argued with the parts counter. I went in there, and every time I come to these places, I get anti-gel, whether I need it or not. I get it because that way you don't have to deal with it. Now, if you're at a truck stop and you need anti-gel or windshield washer fluid or any of that, what you do is if you watch me punch in all those numbers on the fuel pump, right at the end it asks you if you need anything additional from inside. And if you say yes, it leaves your account open, so you fill up, you pull forward, you go inside, get oil, anti-gel, whatever, take it to the counter, and they put that on your comm data card or on your not even your Com Data card. They put that on your fueling receipt, so it gets billed with your fuel, which doesn't come out of your pocket. Now, I just had to put $15 out of my pocket. And one of the things that I got to be a little bit better at, because it's going to get me in trouble, is my trainer. Oh, you can go 125 miles once your light comes on your fuel gauge. Well, you should never let your light come on. And coming down I-80 the other day, my light came on, and I was about 70 miles from my fuel plan routed stop. And I'm like, you know what? No, I don't know, man. I don't want to run out of fuel. That's going to be expensive. And I bet they'll make me pay for that. So I called just for, I called Road Assist and asked him, hey, man, how much fuel do you have when the light comes on? And he gave me the exact answer I was expecting. So I don't even know why I called him. One, you should never let your light come on. I completely agree. You're right. He goes, two, that's a question I can't answer because every truck is going to be different. He goes, I wouldn't go no more than 50 miles. Well, at that point, I had like 65 to go. He goes, you know what? You better stop, even if it's out of route, and put some money in. So I went. There was only a place out of route. My fuel stop that was in route, not out of route. I'm sorry, out of network. It was right off the freeway. So I stopped there. And he goes, just put a couple gallons in. So I stopped there and I go into the place because you have to go in when you're paying cash. The look on her face was priceless. I walk in, I go, hey, I'm at pump such and such. I handed her $15. I go, I need $15. She looks at me and looks out the window at my truck and looks at me. Did you say $15? Yeah, $15. Oh, man. I told her, I go, look, I went too far. I'm supposed, my fuel plan is actually about 50 miles up the road. So I just need to make sure I'm not going to run out of fuel. So she did it. I put the $15 in and made it. I got the ticket. You have to, when you do those, you have to submit them within 24 hours. Otherwise, you have to, dispatch has to help you with it. He's got to help me with mine because I only got the receipt. I should have went back in and told her, no, because you need the price per gallon and you need to know how many gallons you used. Mine just says $15. So dispatch, what he'll do is he's going to just type in as a miscellaneous expense and give me my $15. Prime has never, ever, ever been a problem getting the money back. That hotel and everything. Let me get rid of that. That hotel and everything I got, I looked at my settlement and it was on there. Hotel 5518, taxi $20 because it's 10 one, 10 the other, and then miscellaneous. I forgot what miscellaneous was, but it was money I spent that it didn't have a thing for. No problem. They always. Oh, and then you have to do out of pocket sometimes for washing the trailer out because they're not in network. It's always a good idea to carry some cash with you. Although I use my ATM card, but there is this one place that wouldn't take it, and I had to get cash. But so it doesn't hurt to carry $50, $100 cash. But you will have out of pocket expenses that you'll get reimbursed for. Now, if you didn't have the money, there's other ways of doing it, but it's a pain in the ass. So just carry a little bit of fundage with you. Okay. Oh, my bipolar. I'll make a video. I think I'm going to make a video just about that. Because I think it would be better just, I think I'll name it like bipolar trucker or something like that. When I looked for it, I'll give you a little bit about when I looked to get into trucking. I didn't even think about it until one day. Oh, damn. Can you be bipolar in truck? Because one of the problems with bipolar people is road rage. You can get into some major road rage. I don't want to get myself fired. Oh, I've never had road rage in the truck. I'm talking about in the past. But I just say I may have bumped a couple of cars off the interstate here and there. It wasn't even like that though. But if somebody wouldn't merge for me, I just always assumed I have insurance, so they'll either merge or I'm going to run them over. Okay, Harry says, didn't pick up that they reimbursed you for the hotel either. Yeah, no, they reimbursed me. As a matter of fact, if it's too hot in this truck or too cold in this truck, you can get a hotel. If the truck's malfunctioning, of course. If you're just, no, I want it to be, 95 degrees in here. Oh, that's the other thing. Your bunk heater doesn't work for crap if it's like below 15 degrees, maybe 10 degrees. If you could idle the truck, there's controls back there that would run the heat from the dash of the truck right back there. Same with AC, but you can't run the truck. Although I got my truck to idle the other day, and then this morning, but then it did it one time, and I shut it off, started it up, and it went idle again by doing the old release the brakes and idle it up. I always try that, and it never seems to work, but this one time it worked. But anyways, what I did with my bunk heater, I was freezing this morning. I thought about it. I took my blanket and I threw it over the side of the bed, so the bunk heater blew right into my blanket. Blew it up the blanket, and it was like having an electric blanket. It was awesome. It actually got too hot. But yeah, no, they'll if it gets too hot, like say my APU wasn't working and it was too hot out, they would put me up in a hotel. My problem right now with that APU not working is, one, the heater runs your battery down. My CPAP machine runs your battery down. My refrigerator runs your battery down. Watching TV, all this stuff runs your battery down, and it has no way to charge. So I have to start the truck and let it run for a while here and there to make sure. I think this morning when I went to start the truck, I was at like 12.8 volts. And I mean, this thing was just barely cranking. I thought I was going to have to put the jumpers on the reefer, but it fired and it was good. Brant says, sorry, there's a lot of lag on my internet. Live in a rural area in Oregon. Oh, I hear you on that, man. Where I live, we have satellite for the internet. And I tell my wife, I go, why are you even paying for this? You can't stream movies with it. Even though they say you can stream like one movie and your bandwidth's shot. When I go there, I don't even go on to my home Wi-Fi. I use my data on my phone. It's quicker. And so does she. I'm like, why are we even paying the money for the Wi-Fi? It don't even work. Harry says, at my current job, I have 3 different locations where I direct deposit my paycheck. When time comes, in orientation, is Prime good at setting up multiple deposits? Or are they pretty strict? I'm assuming, what do you mean by multiple deposits? Let me read that again. In my current job, I have 3 different locations where I direct deposit my paycheck. Oh, okay, you like put it in like 3 different banks where you got an offshore account or something? They're basically, I just gave them a blank check, voided check, and it was just to the one account, so I don't know if there'd be a problem with it. I mean, if where you work now does it, I don't see why Prime wouldn't do it. Prime is, one of the problems with Prime is they're a mega carrier. They're a schooling company. So they have a lot of the way they do things, and that's just the way it's going to be. But so does Swift, so does Night. I know somebody that works at Night, and they were like, oh, forget going to Prime, come over here. But talking to them, it's not roses. They have issues. Now, it was dry van. I think dry van would be kind of nice because you don't have to wash it out, but then you have to sweep it out. And one of the problems is, where the hell do you... I mean, I sweep this thing out every now and again, or blow it out with my blower, depending, as long as I don't have protein on the truck. But sometimes it's hard to find an area to do that where, you're not going to piss people off. But I pick up all my pallet chunks and make a pile, and I'm just blowing out the forklift rubber from their tires that built up. I don't blow trash on the fly. I just pick it all up and I'll put it in my side box if there's no trash can nearby. All right, Harry says, where your truck doesn't idle, can you put a block on the gas pedal to rev higher RPMs, or will your truck still shut off? The shop that ungelled it, that's what he did. He had this adjustable rod, and he put it on the accelerator pedal to the seat, and he held it at a higher RPM. He said that way it wouldn't shut off. Now, I don't know if he had the brakes released on it and had it blocked or not, because it was just the tractor. They unhooked my trailer and left it at the truck stop, which completely freaked out my dispatcher. He's like, no! I was like, yes! But Road Assist said they're leaving trailers on the side of the roads under these kind of circumstances. They have no choice. All right. Okay, exactly. Harry says, I have my everyday bank account. Some goes into savings, and I also have my mortgage through a credit union. I direct deposit money into that account weekly. That's a good idea to put it in weekly. That's like we pay our bills, like our mortgage payments due at the end of the month. My wife's gotten this crazy weird habit of she sends money in weekly, not the whole mortgage payment, but so it makes the mortgage payment at the end of the month. And she does the same thing with the car payments. Now, I think where she got that from is when we had our business, we would run a $10,000 a month revolving credit line with parts, and she would pay every day on those parts. I'd bring in the money, she'd pay. That way to keep it down, rather than try to just save up 10 grand for the end of the month and then pay it, which you know how that goes. You get money in this hand and this hand needs to spend it, so you got to get rid of it before that happens. But I don't see why they wouldn't do that. And I would think the savings thing, I would think your bank would do that. Unless it's a different bank. Hold on, let me see. I have a everyday bank account. Some goes into savings. Yeah, okay, it's the same bank. Yeah, so you'd get that check going into that everyday bank account, and you'd tell them how much you want to go into savings. So technically, it looks like you only needed to go to 2 different places. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Why not? I wish I could reverse this camera. Oh, you know what? You can. Look at that. Salt Lake City Terminal. That's the tractor shop. That's where I'm waiting to go. Let's see here. It's too dark to see. Man, I wish it was lighter. There's that building. Can you see through there? There it is. My windows are so damn dirty because my wipers aren't working. But that building right there, that used to, it's a skeleton right now. That used to go all the way over to here, and that was the original tractor shop over there until they built that place, which is like state of the art. But that's where I did my orientation and everything. It's now just a shell. They tore it down. I guess they left a couple sticks up so they don't have to do the whole re-permitting deal. And they're building, they're going to build a whole new facility with basketball courts. They already have a gym here. I just noticed it upstairs when I went to take a shower. But yeah, it sounds like they're going to make it really nice over here. They're going to make it really nice, which is cool. Yeah, it's too dark. I was going to say I'll go walk around the place, but it's too dark. You're not going to see anything. You ain't going to see anything anyways. Yeah, it's 2 different locations, 3 accounts. Yeah, so your checking and savings is one. Yeah, I don't see why that. No, you know what? They're not going to do that. I just thought of something. Yeah, they're again. You'd have to try with them, but um, when I first started with them, I was with Chase Bank. California, I had Chase Bank, and when we moved to Missouri, I'm with Simmons Bank now, some little town bank. They're only in Missouri because there was no Chase Bank, no Bank of America near us. None. It was either going to be Midwest Bank or Simmons. So we went with Simmons. Now I called Prime and I said, "Hey, I need to make my direct deposit go over to the Simmons account," and she goes, "What did she say?" I know she had to put like 2 paychecks on my Comdata card because it takes 2 weeks for direct deposit to start. So I told her, well, can you just keep depositing it in the old account? And she couldn't do that. Well, see, but no, you know what? She couldn't do that because she's like, well, no, because you want it changed to this new account. So yeah, they couldn't send it to 2 different accounts. So maybe they can't. That's a good question. Really? Really? I hate my truck being this dirty. It is a freaking scurvball. Um, no, last video was earlier today. I've been sitting here now at Salt Lake City. You can't wash your tractor. You have to have a trailer to wash it. There's a sign up there that says no bobtails allowed. Bobtails use hose on the right side of the building at your own risk. I ain't freaking gonna squirt it out with a garden hose. So I have to wait. I have to wait until I get dispatched out of here with a trailer, and then I'll run the truck and trailer through. And if they don't dispatch me, if they dispatch me out of here bobtail, I'll go over to the wash bay and see if they'll wash just the tractor, but they probably won't. Um, but yeah, no, this truck is filthy. All that salt and snow scum. It's a freaking mess, man. That's a 100%. I hate the truck being dirty. My work truck at my business. Even when I worked for the company, I always had the cleanest truck, and I think it has something to do with my OCD, which now that I'm on the medication for bipolar, my OCD is barely there. I literally used to dump fuel on the floor to make sure I ended in a zero. It could be $50.50 or $50 or a five. It had to be $50.55, $50.50, but it couldn't be $50.51. I literally would keep putting fuel in until I got that last number to a five or a zero, and I've dumped fuel on the floor doing that. Took me 2 years to do the body work on this hot rod I had because I ground a stick down as a gap tool and welded wire and all the door gaps and everything and ground it so it was all perfect. OCD was killing me, man. But once I got on medication, things like that don't bother me anymore. But yeah, my company I used to work for, they loved it because my truck, even after it was like 5 years old, it had no scratches, dents, or nothing. And they were service body trucks, and the guys, we had aluminum service books. They'd set them on top of their toolbox bins, on top, or their tool bag, and they were always scratched up and just nasty. Mine was perfect. And then my work truck for my business was always perfect. Hey Fred, how you doing? What is this video about? Nothing, just BSing, sitting at Salt Lake City Terminal, watching The Punisher. I've got 2 episodes left on season 2, and they're not talking about bringing it out for a 3rd season because it's a Disney thing, and they're going to start their own streaming thing or some nonsense like that. But now, just kicking back, just chit chatting. As long as people are talking, I'll sit here. And it's not a video I'll keep up. I'll delete it just because there's really no point to it. We're not really talking about anything. Well, Salt Lake hasn't snowed since yesterday, but I mean, there's still some snow on the ground. But all the roads and streets and everything, while I was out there, were nice. The interstate this morning, I swear to you guys, I am not BSing. You seen my video from earlier, from yesterday, how icy that was. Today, I don't know why I didn't make a video. You know what? I didn't because I thought, oh, there's nothing to see. I'm an idiot, though. I'm vlogging. I should have said, okay, this is the next day. Look at how beautiful it is. That freaking interstate, I don't know what they closed it down yesterday because of whiteout conditions. They must have got out there with damn toothbrushes and freaking cans of salt and just scrubbed the snow off that interstate. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, there's a couple of slick spots, but I hit cruise control and I just bolted all the way here. I was a little worried about Parlay's Canyon, but it was even beautiful. It was a little wet in a couple spots, but nothing to be worried about it. I mean, it was just a hell of a great drive. Some brothers. Okay, go ahead and put a light on. A light on what? My headlights on? You want to see out there or what? Because I know you're not talking about in here. There's a light on back there. Okay. But yeah, oh, I showed you guys the truck next to me. That you don't need to see me, man. I'm ugly as shit. The rays coming down. That's a trip. God is shining down on me. I don't know if, yeah, you can't get light right at night. Do you have a load on? You right? Whoops. Get back here. Fred says, do you have a load on you right now or waiting on dispatch? Give me a minute. No, I'm at the Salt Lake terminal. I gotta get my truck worked on, so I'm bobtail right now. I dropped the load off earlier today up the street from the terminal. They didn't have an empty trailer, so I bobtailed back to the terminal. Although if they did, I would have ran through the truck wash and dropped the trailer in the yard over there. But hopefully they call me. My appointment's for 6 in the morning, but I am on standby. So hopefully they call me. What's so... I can't see with my sunglasses on now. What's so funny, Brant? Why are you laughing? Ah. Oh, man, that was funny. But, oh man, you guys want to see a freaking absolute disgusting mess? This is what happens when you're stuck in the snow. I've got my clipboard because I just dropped that load, but my 2 jackets. This is it's a safety vest that I wear. I have a safety vest right there. This is a safety jacket when it's cold, but that's my winter jacket, and I needed that earlier. and it got schmutz on it, so I threw it on the seat because I don't want to. It normally goes up there with my red jacket. You can see my red jacket hanging over there because I don't like to wear my safety jacket unless I'm doing it, because they get nasty dirty, man. Nasty. Look at that. It's freaking gross. And it's been washed. I've washed it a million times. But they don't come clean. They stain. And I'll throw that jacket away at the end of winter and then buy a new one for next winter, because I can't run around with that thing looking like that. It's just disgusting. Okay, Fred, you said "oh" with the little guy. I think that's what it is. All right. Where's my glasses? It's too dark in here for shades. Oh, that light's so bright, though. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you made the... No, let's see. Harry says, have you ran much of the Northeast? Let me see. Northeast would be... Oh, yeah, like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, all that. Dude, my first freaking solo... My first week was where I almost got that service failure going to Florida. But then after that first week, they sent me to the Northeast. I was stuck up in the Northeast for like freaking 3 weeks, man. I went into New York, New Jersey, low bridges. I was like, and I've never been there before with my trainer or anything. Let's see if I can get these lights right. I guess that's the best right there. But I've never been there before. So it was pretty interesting, man. I got my feet wet quickly. I haven't been back. I like going to McCain's. It's on the border of Canada. What is that, Maine? And there's our fuel stop right when you get off I-95. There is got these really cool donuts, man. They're like a bag of donut holes. They're little croissant looking things. They're from Canada. They're really good. They're really filling. Yeah, no, Fred, I'm not getting a PM. I had a PM a month ago. What I'm getting is my left squirter on my windshield washer is not working good. I mean, it's barely squirting. So when you're driving, I don't know if you're a truck driver or not. If you are, you'll know what I'm talking about. These windshields get freaking dirty, even when you're not in the snow. But you see all that. My my washer is not getting water or washer fluid up there, so my windshield stays mucky right there, and that's right where my vision is. You can see it right there too. And I'm going through a lot of fluid. That right there is because my windshield wiper's warped. It's not touching the window. But I'm going through a lot of washer fluid because I got to really spray the hell out of it to get it to clean. So they're going to fix that. And then my APU, I gelled up my truck last week, and my APU hasn't worked since. So I'm assuming they're going to have to change filters on it. So the washer, the APU, oh yeah, and my pigtail going from my tractor to the trailer. When I was in negative 20-degree weather and I unplugged my trailer, which wasn't a big deal, but when the cord was hanging and I picked it up a day later because they took my tractor in, it was frozen. So when I picked the cord up and pulled on it, it just cracked the plastic, which is a DOT violation. So I electrical taped it up, and so they're going to change that. I was going to change it. They're easy to change. It's 2 bolts, and it plugs into the truck, plugs in the trailer. But the bolts that hold it up in the hanging mechanism that holds your air lines and that, they're rusted. So you can't get them off. So let them break it off and put new bolts in. I didn't want to do that at a truck stop. So yeah, we're doing the cord, the washer fluid, the APU. Oh, and I guess the engine filter needs to be replaced. I got a Qualcomm message. So they're going to change that. And Brant says, "You're just a funny dude." If you only knew what I was laughing at when I started laughing, because that's my kind of humor. I'm going to let you guys in on this because I don't think there's any women in here. I wish I could see the names in here. But why I was laughing, some of you might have already known. Hold on, let me find that comment. And I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but do you have a load on you right now? Oh my god, I can't. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Oh man, okay, stop. Whew. Okay, let's see. Stefan, how you doing, Stefan? I haven't seen you in here yet. Okay, everyone is watching Crazy Bags and Chad Rich stream. Crazy Bags. I haven't heard of him. Our Chad Rich. Who's Chad Rich? Sounds familiar. Is Chad? No, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, Fred says, have them readjust the settings for idling. It's a safety issue. Yeah, check this out. That's kind of funny too. When all this went down and I'm sitting in the shop, I'm talking to my dispatcher and Road Assist all on the phone together. Road Assist is telling me at that cold of weather, you know, when it's negative 10, 20 degrees, put anti-gel plus 911 in there, which parts department wouldn't give me any 911 because you don't need that because da-da-da. And I told him what Road Assist said. No, that ain't right. It cancels it. I said, okay, fine. I don't care. I go, it's $1,200 when this thing gelled up. It ain't coming out of my pocket. So he gave me a couple bottles of 911. Not only that, but what I'll do is when I get fuel, I'll just go in and get like I did last time. I got a big jug of it because it saved my rear end once with the reefer unit that gelled up, was starting to gel up. Okay, but back to the idling thing. So I was talking to Road Assist and he's all, yeah, we do it on a case-by-case basis. We'll look and see how much you've been idling your truck, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, oh, cool, they're going to do it. So when I was coming here, my dispatcher sent me a thing saying, hey, what time is your truck going to be done? And I told him, or he called me, and I told him, I said, oh, what about getting the idle turned on? He goes, no, they ain't going to turn the idle on. I go, what do you mean? He said it's a case-by-case basis. He goes, yeah, that's just his way of getting you off the phone. He goes, you're a company driver. They are not going to turn the idle on. It's just not going to happen. And he goes, look, if I even had an inkling that I can get him to, he goes, I would fight for you and get him to turn on. He goes, but they're not going to do it. He goes, they're just not going to do it. So I told my dispatcher, I said, oh, so is that like when you tell me you have my boss's phone number, call him? I have my dispatcher's boss's number because I was trying to get them to let me take the truck home, 30 miles from Springfield. And my dispatcher, here, let me give you my boss's number. And that was his way of saying, here, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to tell you no, but I just want to get you off my back. And even his boss chicken shitted out and, well, let me talk to so-and-so. I'll let you know. And as soon as he got off the phone with me, I get a Qualcomm message. Yeah, no, you can't take your truck home. It's like, dude, you couldn't tell me that over the phone, you big sissy. So yeah, when my dispatcher tells me to call his boss, that just means that no, what you're asking for is not going to happen. All right. Brad says, Chad and Crazy Bags are really cool dudes. Chad and Crazy... Oh, so are they like a team, or are they a comedy team, or are they truck drivers, or what? Fred says they make great content. Yeah, are they Oh, okay. Well, if I keep reading, I'll see who they are. Okay, Stefan says Crazy Bags is my trainer. Okay, so he's a truck driver. Cool. I'll have to check him out. And Fred, you're a prime driver. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so let me tell you, you're a prime driver and any other prime drivers on here. If you see any of my videos, I don't make fun of truck drivers. Okay, so if it comes off like I am, I'm not. I'm being silly or whatever. I've actually have had a couple of really good chances of showing you guys some really stupid crap that a truck driver's doing. Not a prime driver. Maybe it was a prime driver, but some stupid crap at a fuel island or whatever. And if there's a name on the truck or there's a person standing there, I'm not going to do it. I'm not out here to belittle anybody. Now, I might make a joke about something, they're doing, like, hey, he's driving 35 miles an hour. Is he scared of, this, that, or the other? But I just mean it as something funny. So, I respect all these drivers out here, man, especially my first winter out here. I freaking respect these guys that drive this crap, been driving this crap for all these years. This is some dangerous stuff. So yeah, man, don't take anything that you think sounds like I'm ragging to heart. The only time I actually was bitching, and I meant it, was when I was walking around my truck and I seen all those piss bottles and trash everywhere. But that wasn't that one particular guy. I was just saying truck drivers. Now, it's truck drivers doing that. Obviously, it's freaking piss bottles. It's not like my wife's driving to a truck stop and throwing piss bottles out. So it's truck drivers doing that. So bitching about truck drivers being pigs and whatnot. Yeah, some are, not all. And that's another thing I always try to do is mostly or some. I might not if I was really pissed off. That's another thing. If I wasn't on my bipolar medication, I would have probably started throwing shit at trucks. I just probably started picking those up and chucking them at the trucks and yelling, freaking pigs. That's, I just had no filters or no fear or anything, man, before the stupid medication makes me stupid. Okay, let's see here. Yes, I'm a prime driver. Brant says something about loads. Huh? Brant, my man, you're confusing me. Remember, I'm stupid. You guys seen me try to add, but I don't know. My adding was pretty freaking good for in the head. I don't know where I went wrong. Okay. Chef Woody 85. Welcome. How you doing? Glad you're here. Let's see what you have to say. Hey man, you remember me about the fake leg? We think we figured it out and I might be all good to get into prime trucking. Nice. Yeah, I don't see why not. I see dudes out here with fake legs all the time. Again, that's one of those things that it's like, frick, man. So for somebody to oh man, there's another truck that's been jackknifed. His is still running though. That's a bummer. Yeah, see, I wasn't going to bring the camera up and show you that because an actual driver's in that truck. That's messed up. Oh, I didn't even think about that. When I showed you this other truck, I hope I didn't show his. But you know what? Yeah, that wouldn't matter. But there was an actual driver in that. That'd be a dick move to bring up a camera. Oh, look it, dude. Yeah, I ain't that guy, man. I just ain't that guy. Okay, where were we? Oh, anyways, back to the lake thing, man. Yeah, I see dudes out here getting in their truck. Oh, man, Bubba Nesbitt. Him and James Hensley. I was here at this terminal on New Year's Eve, and those two guys got hammered, and they were doing a live feed. I was laying in bed watching them. Oh, I almost pissed myself so many times. It was funny. The cops came and everything. But anyways, let me get back to it. Yeah. I see guys out here with fake legs all the time, and I mean, more power to you, man. I don't know how you lost your leg or anything, but God, it's amazing how people can just adapt and just move on with life. Brad says, love hanging with you, but 11 a.m. a big ass nerd in Star Trek is coming on. By the way, Chad and Rich and Crazy Bags are prime drivers. Cool. All right, man. I know I got to get to my Punisher here in a minute. Big ass nerd, yeah. That's a good one. Have a good one, man. You take care. Be safe. All right. Then we got Chef Woody 85. The exemptions for the SP certificate said I fill out the app and put attending training and she can send me an instructional SP certificate. I'm guessing a temper script so I can drive to learn. Cool. That's cool. Brant says, yes, I remember you. Hope everything worked out for you. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's talking to you. Harry says, is orientation as nerve-wracking as others make it out to be? No. Orientation is nothing. If you can pass a piss test and a background test, orientation is done. Basically, your first day of orientation, you're going to go in. If you're going to Salt Lake, you'll meet Troy. I don't know who you deal with in Springfield. But you go in, they'll throw in the paperwork, basically the same paperwork you filled online. You'll fill that out again. I actually got all kinds of reference, our family's phone numbers and addresses and everything, because I got them all on my phone now, which is good, but I really didn't have them before for that paperwork because they asked for it online. Well, it didn't ask for it on the paperwork, but you fill out that paperwork the first day. They'll immediately take you in to do a piss test, and then I think it was either the first or second day, then they took you up the street here in Salt Lake. In Springfield, it's going to be a little different. And they took you to get your DOT physical. Now, I'm not going to get into that. They'll take you to do your DOT physical. Let's just say you really got to be jacked up to fail it. Then you came back, and then that first week of orientation, you did some computer testing stuff, which it was at your own rate. They say you have this many days to finish it. Make sure you get it done. Just so you know, when you're doing the computer testing and it gives you, and you answer them, it won't let you move on unless you get 100%. So when you answer these questions and it's wrong, it will tell you up there, like you have, for instance, what does a steering wheel look like? A, it's square. B, it's round. C, it's, octagon. I mean, that's not it. I'm just, whatever. And if you say it's octagon, it's going to pop up that it was wrong, and it's going to show you what does it do? I think it shows you the right answer, or it shows you the wrong answer or something. So, in other words, you go and you can just pass it like that. It's not nerve-wracking at all. And then you'll do a little bit of driving around on the simulator. That kind of sucked. I didn't like that at all. It just made me kind of nauseous feeling. I didn't do this. I did the simulator one time because of that, and then I did it. When you upgrade, you have to do it again, and you have to do actual backing and stuff with it, which is they stand there and say, "Okay, turn now." Okay, look, you can't fail it, and even if you screw up on it, they just have you do it again. They're here to make you get your CDL. Then they make it easy for you to get your CDL. If you fail any of the tests, like the pad test, backing test, drivers, you just do it again the next day. You get so many times before it becomes an issue. But yeah, and then that first week, then you went out and you did a little pre-tripping and whatnot, and then they get you your trainer. Not a big deal at all. It was actually kind of boring, to be honest with you. But yeah, don't sweat it, man. You got it. Yeah, you're gonna have nerves. You'll have nerves, but you'll get it. You'll get in there. It's gonna be. You'll come back on here and tell me you trifected, and yeah, it was no big deal. Jeremy Griggs. Hi, Jeremy. How you doing? Can you take medications? Absolutely. I'm on a couple of medications. I'm actually off one. But here's the thing. Oh, this is a good point. This is another way to screw up on your first week orientation. If you didn't list a medication you're taking, they're going to find it in your piss test. Okay? My roommate was taking a penicillin or something like that, and he didn't list it. And boom, that Friday, because it takes a week, you do your piss test first day, the end of the week it comes back. On Thursday, I know Troy told everybody, if anybody's going to fail this test, let me know now. Come up to me sometime today, we'll put you on a bus and send you home. If it comes back and you fail this test tomorrow, we're putting you on the curb and you find your own way home. So tell me sometime today. You don't, not in front of everybody. But anyways, my roommate was taking penicillin that he didn't list. Boom, they nailed it. Why are you taking penicillin? What for? That's his story to tell. It wasn't an illegal thing, but he ended up just electing to go home and leave it at. I know why he was taking it. I feel bad for the dude. I really do. I hope everything worked out for him. There's another guy, I can't remember his name, that was in class. I really wish I knew how he's doing. I know he got his CDL, man, but that guy was hurting for his family really, really bad, like the second day in orientation. So I'm concerned about him making it. But yeah, you can take medication. I'm on medication for bipolar. It is the FMCSA, I think it's called. There's a list of medications you can't take. If you're on Xanax, no, you're done. Somebody liked this video. Cool, thanks. If you're on Xanax or anything like that, or any, I think antidepressants. There's certain things. There's a lot of things you can take, and there's exceptions to rules. Like me being bipolar, I had to get a note from my psychiatrist, who I don't see anymore. I don't need to because I'm stable. I've been stable for 6 years. And he had to say all the medications I'm on and that at least you've been stable for a year. But my my medical card, I have to renew every year because of the CPAP and being bipolar. I guess I want to make sure I haven't murdered anybody. I wonder if they're going to check my truck for blood, traces of blood or body parts or anything. Okay, Brent. Well, Dave, keep the pedal down, the wind at your back, and I'll catch you on the flip side. We'll catch you on the flip side, too. Yep, I'll keep that pedal down to my whopping 57 miles an hour. Got to keep the cruise control on for 62. Oh, man. I've had to clean the radar off on this thing a couple of times from all the salt kicking on it. It shuts off the cruise control. It's like, no! Okay, let's see. Jeremy says, seen a midget one time driving a truck. I can see that. I don't know if you guys know the Little Guy show. There you go. No, I'm just kidding. He's just a little guy. He seems like a cool dude. But no, I can see that. Hell, pedal extensions, the steering wheel goes up and down, the seat goes up and down. Why not? Why not? Fred says, stuff happens. They sometimes have total trucks in the yard. Oh, yeah, the one sitting next to me is jacked up. There was one, I don't know if it was still here, but last time I was here pulling through to get fuel or something, there was a truck that his front end was wiped out. And when I was in orientation, there was a truck that looked like it rolled back here. But on I-80, there's a truck, I don't know if it's a body shop or what, but there's trailers destroyed, trucks destroyed. You drive by going, yeah, I'm going to park this and go work at McDonald's, I think. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Fred says, peace, got to take a nap. Well, I hear you, man. I got to get some sleep, too. They get my truck going at 1 o'clock. I'll be rolling out of here shortly after. Have a good night, brother. Chef Woody, how often do you have Let's see. How often do you have waits or have to sit around as a reefer driver because of loads or shippers or receivers not ready? Okay, let me be very honest about this. The only time, I think I'm doing pretty good on wait times. The only time, there's this one meat packing company, and it seems like that's the only place I've been really screwed waiting on, and I'm going to have a lot of detention coming from them. Um, I was supposed to pick up there at 2 a.m., but it was snowing out, so we changed my appointment to 4 a.m. Well, they didn't even have the load ready till like 2:30 the next day. So and then when I went to drop it off, it was supposed to be unload at 10 p.m. A couple days later. They didn't even, I think they took me in at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So man, I got detention on both sides of that. But it seems like that other place, the other place that took forever was Aldi. I think it was 3 or 4 hours. But I'll tell you what, some of the places that I probably waited a long time, I don't even realize it, because even like this meat place that I was there at 4 and they didn't load me, I needed a 10-hour break anyways. The drop at the place, they don't, where I dropped it, they no longer let you shut down there, so that sucked. I had to go on personal conveyance and find a place to finish my 10-hour break. But yeah, it's a lot of times you're getting to these places and your clock's pretty much burnt anyways, so if you have to sit around, you put yourself off duty. If you're going to go take a nap, go sleeper. If you can't stay there for your 10-hour break, once they're done unloading you, hit that personal conveyance, which won't interrupt your rest break, and drive your happy ass to a truck stop, rest area, whatever's in the area, and be done with it. Harry says, I hear a lot of people get sent home over various reasons. Is all on one video. An individual almost got sent home because he was late to class because he got hung up at DMV. Ride didn't get back in time. You know, I hear about that. Here at Salt Lake, I know there's a couple guys that were late all the time, and no one really said nothing. Now, having said that, they might have canned them, at the end of the orientation, for all I know. But yeah, what the problem is now, if it was DMV holding them up, that shouldn't be on him, because we've got held up at when I was here as a TNT student, PSD student, our people in orientation got held up at Walmart for like 45 minutes past the break because of issues. And yeah, they were pretty lenient about it here. But from what I understand, is the way they see it is, if you oversleep and you can't be there on time, they don't want you in their truck, because you're going to oversleep. And you got to remember, shippers and receivers will charge if you're late. Some of them can 5 minutes late and they want freaking $300. And it makes them look bad. And if they look bad, they're going to lose the account. So yeah, they figure if you can't make it on time, you oversleep and all that, then what do they want you for? It's like when you're in training, you drink it all and you're done. But Prime is a little stricter than a lot of these mega carriers, I think, because they can be. Because I know I've seen a few people who just couldn't get into Prime, but CR England took them, Swift took them, Werner took them. What's that other one? Western Express, I think it is. CRST. It seems like, I think Prime is the more stricter company as far as where it comes to things they really want to see is that you are stable at a job, because they don't want job hoppers. They want to, make sure you're going to be a good employee. They can be picky and choosy. I mean, they got hundreds of people a week coming into this place. Granted, they're making money off of them. I think they get grant money from the government for being a school. Let's see. Chef Woody says, because I'm trying to decide whether I want to do flatbed or reefer, so I'm trying to figure which one would keep you a better be better for you. Well, here's what I understand, and I did a lot of research on this. My brother-in-law, he like in 2007, he went to work for Schneider when Schneider was training. They literally trained him for a week and put him in a truck. Him, and he teamed with another student, so you had two newbies that knew nothing driving around. But anyways, he drove dry van for a year, and then he went flatbed, and he swears he couldn't believe I was going to go reefer. Flatbed don't tend to sit around as much, and from what I understand, I could be wrong about this, but from what I understand, and I think I'm right, is flatbed delivers during the day. I know I'm right. I've seen plenty of videos, and my brother-in-law was telling me this. They deliver like between 9 and 5 because that's when, our 6 and whatever, when construction sites are working, or, they're taking things to construction sites and things like that. We're going to warehouses. Our times, a lot of times, mine was at 1:30 today, which was nice, but a lot of times I'm picking up or dropping in the middle of the freaking night like a vampire. Just, you're not going to get much sleep sometimes. Just, you'll see why when you're out here. If you play your clock right, sometimes you're not going to get a lot of sleep. Oh, man. But yeah, flatbed, I told my brother he's out of his freaking mind. I said, I'll kill myself on a flatbed. Tarping it, I'll fall off. Again, these pills I take, man, they make me clumsy and everything else. I'll fall off the damn thing and break my neck. That's just too much. That's too much work, tarping in hot weather and snow. No, man. Have fun with that flatbed. I'm happy sitting right here listening to my reefer run all night, waking me up every 20 minutes. But yeah, no, you do more sitting around in reefer than flatbed for sure. But there's more of a slower season. Flatbed might be. See, I hate talking about this because I'm only going off a hearsay of what I've researched. So I guess if I researched it, I'm right. Flatbed isn't as busy all the time as reefer. Food's always got to get to the store, so we're moving food. We move a lot of meat, freaking candy bars. Oh, I wanted those candy bars, those bastards. Oh, I got a candy bar. So we're moving vegetables, things like that. They always need that. Flatbed, there's going to be a lull in construction during the winter and things like that. From what I understand, what I researched is there's more of a slow time in flatbed than there is in reefer, but there's less sitting otherwise, and you get paid for tarping and all that good stuff. Harry says, I plan on flatbed, keep myself in shape. Yeah, a lot of guys say that. They're going to keep themselves in shape. Here is a big, bad, horrible thing about flatbed, where this right here, I couldn't do it. See that dirt right there? That's from me wearing this jacket just to drop and hook and to fuel. Okay? I have a point to this. That's where I rubbed against the bottom of the trailer. It doesn't come off. It's stained. But my point is tarping and on-tarping and securing loads on a flatbed, you get filthy freaking dirty. Nasty, dirty. Okay? Oh, I'll just take a shower. Yeah, but you know what? You have to get in your truck to go to that shower. Filthy, dirty, and disgusting. I would like to see what flatbed seats look like because they probably are all dirty and nasty. I'm not a guy to be dirty. I don't like being dirty. When I was younger, even 10 years ago, man, I'd roll around in grease. The last 10 years I did the appliance repair business, I put rubber gloves on whenever I worked, but I was getting grossed out by the nasty waters and dishwashers and washers and stuff. But I was at the doctor's one time and they AIDS tested me. AIDS test? One, my symptoms, kind of, that I was having at the time, kind of fell with possibly HIV. And number two, being an appliance repair guy, you get cuts all over your hands. And then I'm sticking my hands cleaning out pumps in that filthy, nasty, could be HIV ridden water. um, so they tested me for it. Of course, I didn't have it, thank goodness. But once she did that, it's like, nope, gloves, always. And did that, I did that. But let's see. And keeping yourself in shape. Really, jumping up and down on a flatbed isn't. I have to jump in and out of this truck all the time. I try not to park too close to truck stops because I do like the walk. I'll tell you this, I haven't gained 1 pound since I've been out here. Not 1 pound. And there's some times I eat like crap, like lately, because I have no food in here. The food I have in here is not great food. I usually keep the good food in the refrigerator. The stuff I have up there is emergency. I'm sleeping on the side of the road or at the shipper. And I need a soup. I've got, some cans of beans up there, some soups and things like that. But normally I have lunch meat. I have Brussels sprouts and all kinds. Oh, I love the. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm getting off track here. Brussels sprouts. I want Brussels sprouts. Okay, flatbed through Prime. However, is a lot of a cost in tarp straps. Yes, $3,500 to get into a refrigerator. You pay $450 for your chains.
You have 3 unread
and
messages.
If you get used, which I recommend, if you can get used chains, do it. They didn't have any used chains when I tried, but you get used things that hold your load locks. You get used load locks. They're $20 each. You only need 2. You'll get 2 extra ones off an empty trailer at some point like that. So don't buy new ones because you leave them. You swap trailers. You don't keep the new ones anyways. So yeah, it was $450. I ended up getting new load locks because I didn't know any better. So yeah, you're $500 to get into reefer. I heard that $3,500 too. I thought it was $2,500, but yeah, $3,500. Wow, you're gonna take a while to pay that off. Okay. Harry says, do you have to buy those safety jackets and vests through Prime, or do they provide them? I have mine from my current job. Don't know if I should bring them with me or not. Okay, you're gonna get this with that $100. Hold on. Now it costs me, I think it's $150 if you're going to Springfield, but if you go to Salt Lake City, it's only $100 that you pay at orientation. Why it's not $150 is because in Salt Lake you get your permit from your home state. Springfield, you have to get the permit in Springfield, so they charge you the $50 for the permit. So what you get for that $100, I don't use this thing, but I just keep it here just in case. Well, it's stuck. You'll get this yo-yo that you put around your neck, and you put your ComData card or your ID on it. It'll be a student ID at first, and then once you get your CDL, it'll turn into, what is this thing stuck on? It'll turn into your actual driver ID. And then they also give you this beautiful vest. So you'll get that. So you don't need to bring your vest, and it says Prime Ink on it. I put the time, prime time. It's prime time. So you don't have to buy it. I think I've worn this vest like twice. One of the things is you'll notice is no one wears vests. You go into the place I went to today, mandatory, must wear vests. I've been to like 2 places that were mandatory to wear vests. Otherwise, they don't say anything. And if it's not cold out to where I'm wearing my yellow jacket, I don't wear one unless I'm on a place like Walmart where they've got yard dogs jamming around all over the place. Then I wear my vest. No one else does, but I came this close to getting run over by a yard dog. It was nighttime, and I walked out of the door, he passed by me, and it was like he wanted to run me over. He passed by me. I'm walking. He passed by and just completely made a U-turn and almost smashed me. I jumped back out of the way. He never seen me. Drove off. The guy in the truck right there was like this. You know, he thought he'd just seen somebody get run over. And so ever since then, man, especially at night, I wear that vest or that jacket. It's not worth dying because you want to be cool. Okay. Harry says, I currently work in a snowplow factory. I switched from welding to forklift driver. I've gained a lot of weight sitting in the last 4 months. Well, you know what? You got to... now... Okay, you currently work. Okay, so you're not a truck driver yet. Yeah, you know what? You got to be careful. Because you could. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I've always been a heavy guy. Well, I haven't always been. I quit smoking 2005 maybe. I quit smoking and I gained 50 pounds within like 2 months. Never been able to lose it. And then I gained some more. I think the heaviest I've ever been was like 272. But I stay at 262, 263. That's what I came at as a truck driver, and that's what I've been. Now, I did lose all the way down to 214 one time, but that didn't work. I actually was on a program to get gastric bypass, and I was getting ready to go meet the doctor, and the prime thing happened sooner than later, and I was like, do I really want to do that and be out here on a fresh bypass? So I didn't do it. But I would have just lost all this weight. I was doing it because of the CPAP thing. That freaking thing is a whole story in itself. That is a video I think would interest the hell out of people. Doctors thought I thought I was dying. The doctors thought I was freaking dying. And it was a freaking sleep apnea. My actual doctor was going to take my driver's license from me. Forklift, that would be an interesting job. Okay, Chef Woody says, my understanding is that they provide... Yeah, at least I can read even though I'm on those pills. My understanding is that they provide you with the first initial tarps and straps and what's needed, but guess I would have to ask my recruiter. No, I don't think they supply you with anything because I've heard people complaining about spending a buttload of money for flatbed. But from what I understand is you get X amount of dollars for tarping and non-tarping, so you can pay that back, but there ain't no amount of money worth tarping or non-tarping. I've seen them do it. That's a lot of work, and some of these 50-mile-an-hour wind days, I'd get parachuted off the damn truck. Charmac says, hey bud, how you doing, Char? Is it Charmac or just can I call you Char? Or should I call you Mac? Or should I call you Big Mac? Okay, Harry Philbrook says, Chef Woody 85, yes, verify it takes about your full first year to pay off in weekly payments, and any straps, etc. they need to be replaced are on you. They will take back out of your check also. See, that's the other thing, like we do drop-in hooks and things like that, our repowers. What if you repower a flatbed and their tarps are all freaking jacked up? Now you're stuck with jacked up tarps. I wonder how that works. I know one of the guys I watch on YouTube, Guilty 718, he runs flatbed, and I know at this company that he's at now, he's dropped and hooked and made mention of the tarps being jacked up and crappy, but I don't think he had to pay for those tarps at the company he's at, because he didn't seem to really care that they were jacked up. Now, one of the things people bitch, why does Prime charge you for load locks? Why does Prime charge you for chains? Why does Prime charge you when you're a company driver? See, that's the thing. You would think lease guys pay because they're technically self-employed. Company drivers, why are we paying for this stuff? Well, I asked that question. You know, if you guys have noticed, I like to ask questions. As a matter of fact, when I seen my freaking dispatcher today, I ain't even gonna get into that. That just freaking irritates me. But anyways, I like to ask questions. So I asked, why does a company driver have to pay for load locks, chains, and all that? And their answer made me go, okay, fair enough. They used to not charge for that stuff. And then they would have guys coming back, I need this, I need that again. They were selling their chains at truck stops. They were selling their load locks. Now, if you're thinking, who the hell would buy that? They have the new style load locks, which I don't like. I like the old whoosh ones rather than the ones. I had this guy walk up to me and, oh, where'd you get those load locks at? I said, well, I get them from my company. Let me buy them from you. Technically, I could have sold them to him. They were mine. I paid for them. As a matter of fact, after the fact, I thought about it. Oh, yeah, give me $20 for them and give me your load locks. You know, because I have all the old style load locks now because I don't like the new. No, I have the new style ones. I had the old style ones, but I swapped a trailer. I don't like the new style ones. But yeah, guys were selling this stuff and now they didn't have it. Okay. Harry says, I quit smoking a year ago. That's when the weight gain started. Absolutely, man. I always told people this. The worst thing I have ever done is quit smoking. And I've told my doctors this. I told my wife this. Worst thing I've ever done. When I quit smoking, I gained a ton of weight. I started having some health issues. What was the other reason? Yeah, just feeling like crap. I mean, it was nuts. Now, obviously, quitting smoking was the best thing I did, but a lot of things popped up when I quit smoking. That weight gain was just horrible. I used to... My heaviest I've ever been before I quit smoking was 195 pounds, and that was only for a short time. I can't remember. It was years ago. I can't remember what happened, but I got on this binge of eating ice cream or some crap, and I quit doing that. I dropped right back down to 65, 170. And, you know, I think I would hover around 175 or so. I know I look like a big giant guy, but I'm only 5'8". So 260 pounds, 5'8". I'm a chunky little monkey. Okay, Mac. Okay, I'll call you Mac. TX Guy. Hello there, TX Guy. Haven't seen you before. Welcome. Would you consider leasing in the future? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to take the risk of that first week's payment, because if I don't like it, I'll switch right back to company and I'll pay that first week's payment that they what's it called? Another dense moment. I know what I'm trying to say. I can't think of the word, but they defer it. I don't know. But anyways, they put that first week's payment into a year, or not a year, into however long it takes to pay it off at $30 a shot. So I would be on the hook for that if I quit doing it before I paid that off. Max says, do company drivers train or just the lease drivers? No, company drivers train. Basically, you make the same as a lease driver when you train. Now, let me explain that a little bit because that came out wrong. You get paid for that student the same way as a lease driver does. In other words, when you're in PSD, they pay the trainer like $300 a week or something like that, which is crap, because in PSD, the truck's only moving for one person because the trainer's on duty the whole time you're driving. So it's not like you drive and then he drives. The truck moves for one person. So that first week is a little tough on the trainer. And then you have to go and test out, which I was here. I came in on like on a Wednesday, and I didn't test out till Friday. So my trainer sat here didn't make any money. Now I trifected, so he got paid a bonus of 750, and then I stayed on his truck, and I was running my clock out every day, so he was making. I heard him talking to a buddy of his, up there on the bunk while we were cruising down the road. Man, I just freaking made 10 grand. I just brought in 10 grand this week. Now that was his gross. But that's a good chunk of change, because he pays my $700 Prime guarantees you. If you don't know that, the trainer actually pays that. Why the trainer pays that is because the trainer's making a crap load of money off of you. He's getting double or more miles he's being paid for while you're on his truck and he's training. So if you can run the mileage, he's making bank, man. And I won't go into that. Drew, how you doing, Drew? I haven't seen you before. Welcome. Okay, it says, sure, 2,000, they're yours. Keto diet and vape. I think if you smoke, going to vape would be a good thing, because I think how I see it is you can wean yourself off that nicotine, because you can get that juice without nicotine in it, or with X amount of nicotine. And so you can start like a cigarette and just work your way down till nothing. But my trainer, when he questioned me, he asked if I smoked. I don't smoke. He goes, okay, good, because I don't either. Well, he just quit smoking and he went to vape. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as if he smoked cigarettes, but he smoked that vape in the truck, and it would be kind of gross because that cloud would go everywhere, and you're breathing that cloud in, which was just in his mouth. Am I weird? But that was like and some of the vape juice he got just smelled horrible, but for the most part it smelled good. Yeah, I heard about that keto diet. I was going to look into that. I keep hearing people talk about it. Harry says, why is there an arrow in the way? Okay, there we go. Harry says, I hope I get an awesome trainer, not like yours. Oh, man. I hope you do too, man. I'll tell you what, though. If you get a trainer that's not doing his job, get out of his truck. Get out of his truck. I'm an idiot for staying on his truck, but I was so into I need to get through this training so I can get in a truck and make money, that I stayed. And then even once I did my 30,000 miles, I even stayed on the truck longer, because he was promising me, I was getting the 700 plus Prom was giving an extra 300 to stay on the trainer's truck. And then he was like, I'll give you another 300 on top of it if you stay on my truck, because I could run the miles. Well, after I think it was 2 or 3 weeks of him not showing up any money, and him being really stingy and bipolar. I call him bipolar because he'd be hot one day and cold the next. He has to have some kind of bipolar in him, but yeah, training's important, man. Get a good trainer, because when I got set loose, I knew nothing. I think Prime needs to actually have an instructor question you, or run a simulation. Okay, here's your load you're going to go do. Tell us how you're going to get there and what time you think you're going to get there, and this, that, and the other. Plan it out in an atlas. We don't want, not the GPS. Here's an atlas. Plan it out, and all that kind of stuff. I unfortunately hear all the time where students were just used for their mileage. That they didn't get great training at all. That it was all about run, and that's a shame. But my trainer thinks he really did a good job with me, because I trifected. Just because I can back up a truck and figure out how to turn corners. It wasn't all bad with my trainer though. We went to Pike's Place in Seattle, had a good time there. We went to Lexington Market in Baltimore, had a good time there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. Okay, anyone else have anything to say? No, yeah, maybe. Did I miss? I hear. Okay, Harry says I heard about hitting the ground and getting the wheels turning. Yeah, absolutely. That's it sucks because before winter hit, I was freaking cooking, man. I would run 10 and a half hours a day, sleep, do a 10-hour break, not 1 minute over. I would wake up early, and at 10 hours, I was doing a pre-trip, and I was out of there. I'd run my whole day. I would shut down 10 hours, not a minute more, and I was rolling again. And when I would get to a shipper or receiver, I would try to always get there to where I needed to do my break. I mean, I was pulling some pretty slick stuff. And then winter hit, and it got all screwed up. Well, my truck broke down in the summer, too, which screwed things up. My truck, I don't think I've had a whole month of running yet. Either my truck's broke down, I get freaking snowed in, or I'm on home time. Home time don't really count because it's something you need to do. But, yeah, all this breakdown just sucks, and then the snow. I can't wait for summer. If you guys ever hear me say in the future, oh my God, it's hot, punch me right through the screen. Right through the screen, just punch right through that screen. Because, no, man, you can drive in the heat. You can't drive in this snow. Chef Woody says, what's the hardest part as a reefer driver? Hardest part. For me, the hardest part, well, this ain't even the hard part. It's annoying. It can be frustrating. And it can give you an anxiety. Is getting a trailer washed out, finding a place to get the trailer washed out that's en route or nearby, filling that stupid ass reefer up if you're gonna drop it. Like today, I'm barreling down. Oh man, I'm dropping this trailer. If you're live unloading, you don't need to fill it up, but if you're dropping it, you have to have a full tank of fuel. So I stopped at a TA. I got to call the fuel desk. I need reefer fuel. Okay, you're set. Then you got to get out. You guys seen all those buttons you got to press to get the pump to work. 2 freaking gallons of fuel I put in it because it's showing between 3/4 and full, which this place didn't even check. Most places aren't going to care, but my dispatcher says always fill it. He has had drivers get turned away because the tank's not full. So that kind of gets annoying, going, oh my God, I got to fill the reefer up. And then when you pick up a new reefer, a trailer, you always got to have a clean trailer, so you got to get it washed out. And sometimes there's no wash anywhere near you. So you got to go out of route. I drove like 50 miles out of route one day. Well, it would have been more than that because I went 50 miles that way and then 50 miles back because there was nothing en route. That was ridiculous. So, yeah, that's the our most frustrating thing. Hard, I don't think anything's really hard about it. As long as you can drive at night. If you can't drive at night, this is going to be a little tough for you because you got to drive at night. I mean, you can work your schedule around driving during the day a lot, but because I know a lot of people don't drive at night, but if you're going to run and run hard, you got to be able to drive at night, I think. It's my opinion. I think I'm right, though. I think I'm right. Because I run at night and it works out great. I'll run and I'll shut down at sometime in the morning or sometime in the early afternoon. There's parking everywhere. You run during the day and shut down at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. Good luck finding parking. Although I-80 is pretty good about it. Florida, no parking. California, no parking, and if you do find parking, you're paying for it. That's an out-of-pocket expense, is parking. I can't think of the other places that I ran across where there's no parking, but I-80 and I-70, those seem to have good parking. Okay. TX guy says rest areas versus truck stops for a 10-hour break. I made a video about that. I'll touch on it quickly. Truck stops cost you money. Period. They cost you money. So if I don't absolutely have to take a shower, I'll stay at a rest area. Or if clock's running bad and I just want to, sometimes you'll have to, because it's like I can shut down really early to be at this truck stop or run to this rest area and get another 100 miles in. But what I've been doing is if I am not going to shut down at a truck stop that night, I'll stop at my 30-minute break and take a shower, so then I don't have to take a shower when I shut down. Rest areas are great. I'm going to say they're not as safe, I guess, because, they're not all lit up and people in and out constantly. I thought I was going to get murdered at a rest area one time. I was just stopping to use the restroom, though. When you're sleeping, your truck's locked. One of the things you can do, I haven't done it yet, and now that I've been out here for a little while, I don't think I'm gonna. I've lost the worry factor about it. My trainer never locked his truck, whether we were in it or out of it. It never got locked. But one of the things about Freightliners, hold on, guys, I just dropped something. One of the things about Freightliners is there's like 7 keys for all Freightliners. So you can take your key in a truck stop and keep hitting doors, and you'll probably find one that you'll open. So if you're in a sketched out area, and one of the YouTubers I watch actually had a guy that had a ring of keys that he was trying to open his truck with. I've had other YouTubers say how they're sleeping and they'll wake up and a hand's reaching in and grabbing their wallet and running out. And he's like, I know I locked my truck. What you can do is you can take a ratchet strap, or even your seatbelt, I think. Well, no, a seatbelt, if you go slowly, it wouldn't do it. But a ratchet strap, and go from the door pull here to the other door pull, and just ratchet strap them together, and now they're not opening your doors. I always thought to do that. I actually brought a ratchet strap to do that, and I ended up using it for my microwave. You can see that orange ratchet strap up there. But I don't really worry about that anymore. But yeah, truck stops, you're going to go in, you're going to eat, you're going to do this, you're going to spend money. I've got my microwave refrigerator. I made rice last night for a couple of days. So my rice cooker, you can do vegetables. I'll have hot dogs, lunch meat in the refrigerator. So I can be out here without having to go to a truck stop. Now, some of the places I stop, there's no bathrooms. So if you're a guy that has to use the bathroom every night, if you know what I mean, you're going to want to make sure they got facilities. Unless you're into pooping in the truck, which I ain't into. I don't carry anything in here to do it, because if I had something to do it for an emergency, I'd end up doing it because that emergency is there, to where if I don't have it, I just drive to a truck stop. Done it a couple of times, man. It is like, now I know better. If my stomach starts bubbling, don't go, oh, it got better, get off and go to the bathroom. But yeah, truck stops. Now, my 30-minute breaks, if I'm not going to use it to take a shower, love doing them in rest stops. Love doing them in rest stops because you're right there off and right back on. It's quick, it's easy. Boom, bada bing, bada bang. 34-hour resets if you're going to plan on doing one. Make sure you do it somewhere you can go to the movies or something. Me, I'm going to try. I'm going to just leave that alone. Dispatcher. Okay, Max says, where do you mainly go with Prime, or is it all over the place? Northeast at all? Yeah, I haven't been to the Northeast since the couple of weeks I did. Right after I started driving. I haven't been back there, I don't think. Oh, I was going back to New Jersey, but my load got repowered in Iowa, I think, which was fine with me. But yeah, you go everywhere. Now, if you're a solo driver, you don't do the East-West Coast runs like you do as a team truck. When you're teaming or with your trainer TNT, man, you're East Coast, West Coast, back and forth because they can get the truck there quickly. Now, I was in California. I picked up a load of produce, and I took that produce to somewhere on the East Coast. I don't remember. But, I mean, it took me 5 days or whatever to get it there. It's like, ew, that produce ain't fresh no more. And it wasn't frozen like frozen bags. It was fresh produce, lettuce, and things like that. So team trucks do that better because they can get across country in 2-3 days. And then team trucks do a lot of high value loads. But yeah, solo, I've been to California, Washington, Texas, Laredo, all the way to the border, Florida, Minnesota. Where haven't I been? I think I've been in every state as a solo driver. It's just you'll move like this rather than, back and forth. I think I've gone from Texas to California, and then from California to Washington, and then work my way back to where when you're teaming or TNT, you'll go from freaking Florida all the way to Washington all the way back to Florida, where you just, the big mile. I think one time we did 4,000 miles on one drop, to where solo you'll do the 1,500, 500 and move your way across the country. Okay. Chef Woody says, is parking on the side of the entrance ramp allowed, or are truck drivers doing it illegally? Because I see them doing it all the time, and I'm curious about that. Well, that used to not really happen until ELDs came in. When you were on paper logs, you rarely seen that. That is actually illegal. They're doing it illegally, and I've actually driven by where there was 2-3 highway patrol cars with their lights on, waking these guys up, probably handing out tickets. For the most part, they're lax about it because I think they do understand these guys have nowhere to park and they're running out of time. And you can see the areas where trucks park all the time, and I bet you it's not a problem there. I've parked on the side of the road. I've parked illegally, just because it's like I'm tired, I'm running out of time, there's nothing ahead of me, I'm doing it right here. It's something that you just kind of risk and hope if a cop comes or something that he just kicks you out and he doesn't give you a ticket. Now, if he kicks you out, you get to go on your personal conveyance and take your happy ass to somewhere else. So that's a good thing. And I know, like Georgia, parking in Walmart parking lots, they're starting to boot the trucks. Not like a wheel boot. They put this thing that goes across your windshield so you can't see to drive. And from what I understand, you can't get it off without breaking your windshield unless you have the tool. Also, it's a big fine if you take it off. But I know there was a thing in Georgia where they made it law that they can only charge you like 100 or $140 or something, and they have to get it off within 4 hours. To where before they made that law, they were charging $500-600 to take that thing off your windshield. Because I don't think it's the actual city that's doing it. I think like Walmart's one that does it. I think they hire a tow company that does it. But yeah, you got to be careful about that because they'll boot your ass, and that's going to get expensive. Oh crap, I seen that coming up. Can you explain? Harry says, can you explain an 8-2 split? Nobody can explain an 8-2 split. I haven't done one yet, and I've almost done one. I know part of it for sure. If, say I start with a fresh clock right here, and I run 2 hours up the road and need to shut down, but I need to start back up before my 10-hour break's going to be up. I burn 2 hours on my clock. Okay, when I shut down in 8 hours, your clock constantly counts down your 14-hour. Well, in 8 hours, it gives you all that time back. And if you start running at that time, so you've got an 11-hour clock, you've burned 2 hours. Oh shoot, here comes the math. So you have 9 hours on your clock. You shut down for 8 hours. Your 14 hours is going to run down. Well, after 8 hours, that 14 hours is going to go back to what it was, and you're going to have that 8 hours still. That's, I know for sure. So now you can run what's left on your clock. The 2 hour part, I'm not sure. I think, and the 8 hours has to be sleeper berth. And then I think if you go 2 hours, either sleeper or off duty, I think that gives you the remaining of a 10 hours, so you get a couple hours. I'm not sure, man. I've watched videos on it. I've called logs and asked them about it. I've taken a logs class, and I just sit there, and I finally understand that first part of it. So I know I can get that part right, but I don't know what the two hour part's for. I figure when I have to do an 8-2 split, I'll be on the phone with logs asking exactly what's going to happen. TX guy says, thanks for the info. Woody, hey, is this the live Wyoming Super Show? How you doing, Woody? Oh man, do I have Super Trucker written all over me doing a whole 35-40 miles an hour? Yeah, I'm just goofing off, stuck in Salt Lake waiting for him to call me to fix my truck, and figured I'd turn a live on and just play around for a little. I can't, oh my gosh, it's been 2 hours and 17 minutes. Whew. Okay, Harry says, oh shoot, here's that math. Yeah, I do some pretty fuzzy math, man. You know why? Because my damn phone's my calculator, and when I'm doing this, I'm on my phone. Oh, man. Okay, Chef Woody says, I think the 8-2 is like you drive for 8 hours, take part of your break hours, then finish the last of your 10 drive hours. I think Crazy Bags could explain that for you. No, it's not that you drive 8 hours, because if you drove 8 hours, you'd only have the 3 hours that's left. Your 8-2 split is your break time. You do an 8-hour sleeper berth and a 2-hour breaker sleeper, and that gives you your time that's on your clock left. Now, let's say I ran 10 hours and then I do an 8-2 split. That's not going to get me nothing, because I'm out of time anyways, because I'm only going to get back that time that's sitting there. You got to remember, when you go to do a 10-hour break, you can't start back up until 10 hours because your 14s ran down. It will even go into the negative Well, you know what? Let's see what. Let's see. I can show you here. Punch in my code. This is gonna buzz. Sorry for your ears. Okay, it's. How did my lights go out for? Oh, crap! I done broke my damn truck. Why are my lights? Oh, you know what? My battery's going dead. Uh, Let the truck run for a minute. Um, that engine noise isn't too loud, is it? Woody says loves your videos, man. Hey, thanks. I'm glad you do. I appreciate that. Harry says it does have something to do with 8-hour sleeper berth, just so confusing. Yeah, no, it's definitely, you definitely have to do 8 hours into sleeper. And then the 2 hours could be sleeper or not. I just don't see that. I'm not sure what that 2 hours does. I think it gives you the rest of a 10-hour clock. So say you have 5 hours left on your clock, you do an 8-2 split. I believe how it works is after the 8 hours, you can now drive that 5 hours again, and then when you do
it, have 3 unread messages.
When you do it the other 2 hours, I think it gives you the rest of your clock back, like you did a 10-hour break. And you're probably wondering, well, why would you want to do that? Well, for instance, if I'm sitting here and I got to go on a break right now because I've drove out my clock, but I have to be at my 01 or 90 at this time, say my 10 hours is going to be too long for me to rest to get there. But if I do 8 hours, I'll have the time to get there. It's hard to explain, but I'm going to show you. I just want to show you the 14-hour, how the 14-hour runs down. Okay, see, my clock's been running down since I got here. I'm off duty. My summary here. Okay, see, my resets at 8 hours because I've been down for 8 hours. My 11 hours is I've got 5 hours 51 minutes left because, you know, that's what I had left I could drive if I wasn't sitting here in Salt Lake. Now my 14 hours was, you know, it was way above that, but it's been running down since I've been stopped. And then my 70 hours, I have 10 hours and 32 minutes left on it. So I'm gonna tonight I'm gonna get 2 hours back. That's when I broke down. And then tomorrow night I'll get 11 hours back. And okay, there's the 2 I'm getting tonight, 11 tomorrow, 9 the next day, 8 the next day, 9 the next day. So you can see I can run on recaps and be okay. Although I'm gonna probably run for a week on recaps, and then I'm gonna tell my dispatcher, hey man, work my happy ass towards Springfield. I want to do a 34-hour reset in Springfield. That way I can go home for the 34-hour, you know, a day and a half. But yeah, that 8-2 split thing has me. I mean, I think I know how it works. I'll deal with it when I have to do it. But there's only been a couple of times where I almost had to do one. What I'm doing right now is I'm turning the screen all the way to black so it doesn't glare in here. I've almost had to do one a couple of times. That very first load I did, where the dispatcher said do an 8-2 split, and then when I got too far into it, I realized that won't work. I'll be out of time. I think, I had to be to the 02 in 7 hours, not 8 hours. And where I shut down, it was right there. But it's like, I ain't got time now. What the hell did you tell me to do that for? Any other questions here? Let's see. Harry says, does a 34-hour reset save your 1 day off a week? Continue to build. Okay, hold on. Let me read that again. Does a 30? It has numbers in it, so you know the math. Does a 34-hour reset save your 1 day off a week continue to build up? Okay, I know what you're saying. You get 1 day per 7 days out. No, your 34-hour reset has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that at all. It A reset is a DOT thing to keep you running, which I think they need to get rid of that 70-hour clock. See that? Did you hear that beep? That's my truck going to shut off. So you just got to give it a little bit of gas and it clears it. But yeah, that 70-hour clock is baloney. It is. They need to get rid of that stupid 70-hour clock. They're talking about getting rid of the 30-minute break. I guess that 30-minute break only became mandatory a couple years ago or something like that. Me, I don't care about the 30-minute break. That I can deal with. It's that 70-hour clock that's stupid. Because, yeah, I've driven up to where I had to stop. I just did that the other day. To where I had to stop for a 30-minute break, or I was going to get violated by the DOT. And I'll tell you what, they have cold hands. So I had to stop. But for the most part, usually you got to stop to go to the bathroom or just to get out of the truck. And 30 minutes goes by quick when you run to the restroom and, you know, grab a coffee or a soda or something. That 30 minutes is no biggie. See how the truck's telling me it's going to shut off again. We'll go ahead and let the damn thing shut off this time. My lights are back on. Generally what happens if the battery gets too low, it will shut your outlets off and your lights off, because it doesn't want you not to be able to start the truck. And that's how I'll know in the middle of the night when I wake up. I'll see my charger is not glowing out back there, so I know I better start the truck up. Loaded Trucker. I hope you're talking about freight there, buddy. How you doing? Nice to meet you here. Let's see what you got to say. Hi, David. I found your channel today. Saw the video about you with your trainer asleep when we're on the road ahead of the... yeah, that bridge. Man, that scared the hell out of me. I've since, being solo, I've ran across a couple of... I ran across a bridge. Got that settled out. So when I first started going solo, I wasn't looking at... Oh, that's what I wanted to show my dispatcher. Damn it. You know, he asked me, where's this last mile thing you always talk about? It's on the app. I found it where it said last mile. I wanted to show him that because I'll just leave that alone. But I wasn't reading those and following those because I really wasn't taught to. And once I started, you know, getting screwed up, I started looking at that. I started looking at the overview, GPS sky view, to see where the driveways were and everything. And I haven't got screwed up at all since then, except I was in Colorado and I was at this truck stop, or going to a truck stop to get reefer fuel, even though it was almost full. And it said entrance straight ahead. My GPS, Rand McNally, was telling me to make a right. I see the sign that says truck, so I went up there. Damn, entrance is closed. Right past the truck stop where it looks like you could turn around, was because it rained, was muddy as hell, and you could see big deep ruts where trucks have tried to turn around. So I ended up going up this road. I got it on video, man, but I'm not sure if what I did is legal or if Prime would have a problem with it. So video's deleted. They don't see it. There ain't no proof of it, right? But I've, you know, what else could you do? Got to get turned around. I was told on a message board that if you do a U-turn, that you could be fired for it. I find that hard to believe. I know when you take your CBT testing, it tells you about making U-turns, why they're not good to do, but it don't say anything about being fired. They say to just keep going and, you know, find your way back around. But I mean, sometimes you just got to make a U-turn. I mean, there's no other way of doing it. It's wide enough. You know, there's no other cars around. But yeah, I'm not going to share that video of what I did. But anyways, I got turned around and got back and made a left, and the entrance was right there. There had to be a sign somewhere that I missed, or it's fallen over or something. Because why would they close that off and just leave you to fend for yourself? Yeah, Loaded Trucker. I've got a few pretty good videos. I take it you're a truck driver. How long have you been driving truck for, Loaded Trucker? Harry says, Loaded Trucker, have you come across the triangle? Oh, see, I show everything, man. Good, bad, ugly, funny, make me look like a dumbass. What are you going to do? I laugh so freaking hard. You know, granted, I just woke up. I was 4.5 miles into my drive when the truck broke down. It was freezing cold. I just woke up. Haven't even had any coffee yet. So forgive me on the triangle things. I know how they work. I've put them up before. But I'm out there. I put them. The hell think you've fallen over for? So I set them all up. I put them real good. I went to the truck, turned around, looked, they're all laying on their side. I couldn't, like, what the hell? But yeah, man, that was a funny video. I thought to myself, should I be showing this? But yeah, whatever. It's funny. I'm a humorous guy, man. I'm a humorous guy. I like having fun. I like funny people. I just like funny shit. Jeff Beard, what's up? He says, not much. How you doing? Glad you're here. We're just kicking back and chit-chatting. If you guys have anything to say, you know, just say it. Just pop up and say it. There's 12 of you in here, which I'm happy for that. I don't have very many. I don't have very many subscribers. So, hey, man, one in here. One person wants to talk to me, I'll sit and talk to you. I'm cool. Loaded Trucker says, I'm actually a student in a Chicago area community college for CDL training. Did that cost money, or is that like through a government program? Because I know you can apply for government programs that will get you your CDL. Or is that costing you money? That video, Loaded Trucker, it's a breakdown video, so it's going to be something about breaking down in the title. I snapped my water pump belt, my idler pulley for it. It turned, it was just tight. So it probably seized up or something. And the truck, the belts were squeaking in it since I got the truck. And it didn't sound like a belt squeak, but you know, it sounded like a bearing squeak. But I've asked, the truck was in the shop a couple times, and I asked them about it. And they're just like, oh, it's just the belts are wet. Really, dude? It's summertime. It's freaking hot out there, not wet. But it finally snapped. They put their wrong belt on. The belt's like this wide, and it's supposed to be that wide. But whatever. Woody says, over 300 subs, your channel is going. Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I get a couple people every day, it seems like, which is really cool. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect. When I was thinking about doing the trucking and whatnot, I was thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to vlog this whole thing. But things got really crazy in the beginning. There would have been some good video, though. Some good video. If I would have started right out of the hole. I would have had a lot of breakdown stuff on this truck when I got it. I would have had some cool shit in Washington, Pike's Place, just some really cool footage. There's a lot of neat stuff and a lot of crappy stuff that's happened. But I just wasn't doing it. I'm so new. I was like, you know what? I need to concentrate on learning how to do this before I do anything else. Learning how to run your clock, man, is like number one important thing. You got to learn how to run that clock. Zach B, how you doing, buddy? Watched your video. You're freezing to death. Funny, not funny. Glad you're okay. You know that now I laugh at it, but I don't know if I said it in the video. I woke up that morning, it was negative 20 degrees in my truck. I don't know if you guys seen the picture. Well, on my Instagram, I put the, we got a thermometer you have to buy. You have to buy this thermometer. It's one of the things, when you upgrade, they give you a list of things to buy. Jumper cables, this thermometer, and a set of locks. The set of locks are like $170. F that. Go to Walmart, get yourself a good lock for 20 bucks and be done with it. That's what I did. I didn't get a really good lock though. It was like 9 bucks. And why is my truck still idling? That's freaking weird. I know it's been more than 5 minutes and it dinged at me that it was going to shut off. Oh well. So, you know, this is cheap. This was 6 bucks. It's so you can check the temperature of the product going on before they put it on. I always check it. And, oh, and then you have to buy your detention stamp. You guys seen my detention video, right? That was like totally cool. I need to get something to hold the camera. Like my GoPro snaps to my head. You know, when I'd go horseback riding and stuff, got some good video of me falling in water and breaking my shoulder and all kinds of crap with that thing. But, you know, to do some of these videos better. Like, I really wanted to show you guys how to slide tandems. I couldn't do it. I could hold the camera. Not slide tandems. I had stuck tandems. I wanted to show you what it was like to deal with banging the hell out of the tandems and get them to free up. But, yeah, there's some good videos in there. Let's see. Oh, back to that freezing video. I woke up, it was negative 20 degrees in here. Your bunk heater don't work at that temperature. I found that if you take your blanket and drape it over the front of it, it gets heat up in there and warms you up. But my bunk heater quit because my APU quit the day before. My truck wouldn't run, so I couldn't charge the batteries. And once the battery got, I assume the battery, because my APU is blowing an error code, and once I got my truck running, the next night when I tried to run it, it was blowing the error code again after it was on for a bit, and then I started the truck, and that cleared the code, and it's been working ever since. If the battery gets too low, it starts flashing and it shuts off. But so it was negative 20 degrees in here, and when I was sitting there freezing, the truck stop was probably, I don't know, 500 now, 200 yards away. And I didn't think I could walk it. I didn't think I could make it there. I was so cold. And I went and put jumper cables on from the reefer to the truck. And I was so damn cold. My feet, I couldn't feel them. My shoes were frozen solid before I even put them on. And you need to get warm gloves out here and one of those face shields. When I finally decided to do it, I kind of bolted and I got into the truck stop and went immediately to the bathroom and warmed my hands up, and I looked at my face, and my face was really red. It was horrible, but yeah, from sleeping in that cold weather, man, I woke up frozen. Yeah, that was bad news, man. You got to have some. The next night, I brought down my winter sleeping bag. Well, the next night I slept in a hotel, but after that, I went like 2-3 days before my. I got to a warm enough area for my. Oh yeah, because my bunk heater originally was gelled up too, before it started working again. But my winter sleeping bag did a good job. But yeah, that is a funny video now. Okay, loaded trucker says, yes, I did pay for the school, but this is what I want to do, whatever it takes. See, that's good because now you can go to any mega carrier. You're still not going to be able to get on with, a mom and pop or small place. So having said that, myself personally would have recommended to go to a schooling company like Prime or Swift or Knight, one of those. One, because Swift makes you do 2 years, so maybe not Swift, but Prime makes you do a year. And it's a year from the day you start your PSD, not the day you start driving. No, sorry. It's a year from the day they hire you, which is as soon as you get your CDL, then you actually become a Prime employee and get you start getting paid by them. When you're in PSD, you're not an employee yet. Let me plug my phone in here. But I got a custom thing I can show you right here to hold pens. I made myself a little pen holder, just a zip tie around my charger. Okay, yeah, I'm a Mickey Mouser sometimes. But I would have went to a schooling company like Prime because, one, now I don't know how much they charge in that community college, and you don't have to tell me. But one, if you stay a year, you're free and clear. You can go where you want. Generally, you're not going to get a great job until after about 2 years of over the road. Now, you can get one after a year, but the real Prime stuff that I've looked at, they want at least 2 years experience. So it's like, why you pay for the school and then you end up at a company like Prime anyways. Okay, Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Have you ever driven into Washington State? Yes, I've been to Washington several times when I was in TNT, and I've been to Washington one time as a solo driver. My mother lives in Washington. I haven't seen her in forever. One of these days, I'm gonna let them know that next time I go to Washington, and I'm gonna be in Spokane area. That I want to do a 34-hour reset, or even take a couple days home time and go visit my mother. I'm going to do the same thing in Florida to visit my sister, and then one day I'll do the same thing when I go to Cali and visit. I got a bunch of relatives in California. It's where I grew up. That's where my whole family grew up until they started moving around. Harry says, have you had... And by the way, I say like Harry says, and I read the comment because I watch some YouTube truckers and they'll just answer questions. I don't watch them. I'll be driving and they'll be playing in the background, and all of a sudden they'll go, "Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was great." And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Because they don't read the question. So I read the question. That way, if you're just listening to this, or if you don't want to read everybody's question. So Harry says, have you had any issues with people messing with your equipment at truck stops, etc.? I have seen other YouTubers run into run into issues. Talk about math there. Run into issues from time to time. Changing reefer settings and on flatbed driver had, his fifth wheel lever pulled. Okay, I talked about this a little bit on a video where I was just driving away from a truck stop. But number one, if the reefer gets turned off or the setting gets changed and you're under a load, your Qualcomm's going to go ape shit. As soon as you depart a shipper, if you don't have that reefer set right, that thing won't shut up. And if you don't listen to it, you're going to get a call from dispatch. So them changing your reefer setting, you'll know about it right away. Every single time I'm away from this truck, every time, when I walk back to it, if I'm coming from the back of the truck, I glance down the side. I glance at everything I can. I mean, I don't walk around the truck, but if I'm coming down, let's say the passenger side from inside the truck stop, I'll glance down the side, then I'll come around the truck or go around the back, and I'll look this side looking at tires and stuff. But I always, every single time, look at my airlines, make sure they're secure. I'm going to tell you in a minute why that's important, because I had my blue line come off while driving. And I'll just duck under and I'll look and make sure my handle's not pulled. And then every time I pull the truck away from anywhere, I do a tug test. Every time. Mandatory. Every time. Because not only someone might not have even messed with your crap, but I don't trust these fifth wheels. I just had one where the cold weather, it was locking, but if you tugged hard enough, the thing would come apart. It took me 3 hours to get that damn thing to lock. So yeah, I look every time, man. You just don't know. And I lock my door when I go out, leave the truck and go to the truck stop. Even if I'm running in real quick, because I don't want to come back, one, have my GPS stolen or, something like that. But the other thing is, I don't want to come back looking here and have somebody sitting on the bunk wanting to murder me or, give me a ride or some crap. There's some weirdos at the truck stops. I actually just had a little experience at a truck stop that, it's since I've been out here twice, somebody's wanted to hook up. One time I was with my trainer and he was just like, okay, I'm going to the truck to wash the refrigerator, have fun. I mean, he was just blown away at this chick, just freaking, oh man, it was crazy. But I'm married, man. Hell no, I'm going to the truck with you. I'll wash that refrigerator with you. He was just dumbfounded. I'm married, man. I'm married. I've never cheated on my wife, and I never am. But I just recently had a gal want to come in and watch TV with me. I was like, nope, I'm out of here. Gotta go. Okay, where are we at? Okay, Harry says his fifth wheel lever was pulled. Yeah, you got to watch that crap. And especially if you stayed in a fuel island and went and ran in for some reason, you pissed people off, you better watch it. Or even if you've pulled forward, if for some reason, a lot of guys pull forward and they'll run in and get food, and that food will take forever. I mean, I go into truck stops all the time. Who's in this truck? Who's in that truck? You need to get the hell out of my way, dude. I've filled up. I've been sitting here for a half hour after I fueled. I gotta go. I don't mess around, man. People, half hour is long enough. Okay, Zach B says, I just cut knife off and decided with prime. Wait, okay. Oh, I just cut knife. I can read. I promise. It's not like my math. I promise. I just cut night. I almost said it again. I just cut night off and decided with Prime. You have to pay for your hotel, etc. Lower starting pay too. You're right. I did the math between night and Prime, and when it all works out in the end, the pay is almost the same. You're getting paid a little bit more at Prime. Reason being, night pays you X amount of cents between this mileage and this mileage. X amount of cents between this mileage and this mileage. Well, you're going to be getting paid mostly in that higher mileage range for the shorter runs, because solo drivers tend to run shorter trips. You have to do more of them in a week. It adds up. You make your miles at the end of the week, but you don't generally do like a cross-country trip. I've done it, but it's rare. I didn't know you had to pay for your hotel, though. I know you have to pay for your hotel at Swift, and you have to do 2 years. And it's weird. It's weird how Swift pays you back for that hotel. Each week, you pay them this much. I mean, not for the hotel, for your schooling. You pay them this much for your schooling. You pay it out of your statement, and then they'll give you this much back. So you're doing this whole money back and forth thing. It's kind of bizarre. But yeah, I'm glad you're going to Prime, man. Prime's, I think, is a good place. Now you're going to be pissed off with Prime here and there, but that's just a rule of thumb. Okay. Harry says lot lizards climbing in. You know, I've only seen 2 lot lizards when I was out here. The one gal that I was in a Sam's Club, the one chick that the first one who wanted to whatever, she actually worked there. And then this next one, I was at a truck stop. It was a female truck driver. So I've never had lot lizards. I've seen a couple, and they've come up, and it's like, ma'am, can you take your tooth and go that way? Lot lizards are always nasty, cracked out looking chicks. They're just gross. But you hear on the CB all the time, guys looking for lot lizards. Hey, you know where any lizards are? Which is pretty gross. I usually shut my CB off when I get to a truck stop, because if there's talking, it's rare, but if there's talking, it usually ends up turning into some kind of a fight, and then it gets racial, and racial bullshit pisses me off. Okay, CLC Beats. Welcome. How you doing? He says, I assume it's a he. I heard some of the lot lizards try following you. Yeah, no, they do. They'll actually follow you right to your truck, and hey man, you want to party, or you want to play with my tooth? They never have teeth. I don't know why. Loaded Trucker says, I'm not in a position to just dump my current desk job and health insurance for going to a company without my CDL. It's just too risky. Dude, do you want to talk about risky? Let me tell you, I owned a successful appliance repair business that was making over $200K a year gross, a lot less net. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell the business, or try to sell the business. Appliance repair businesses are hard to sell because it's a niche, and appliances these days are real high-tech, pain in the ass to work on, and do this. So I actually paid out of pocket, before I went to Prime, a DOT test to make sure I could pass the DOT test. Then I told my employee what was going on. He was actually going to buy my business, but he couldn't in the end. I ended up selling it to another guy. So I went to Prime and had to do another DOT physical. Did that, and then I was worried about passing a drug test, because my wife, we lived in California, her doctor prescribed her medical marijuana. And I would come into the house sometimes. She smoked it outside, but she kept it in the house. And before she got this marijuana holder that seals it off, I'd go into our bedroom, and it was like, oh my God. And I started thinking, well, will that have weed in my system? It didn't, and it won't, just smelling it. But yeah, so I was scared as hell. I actually called a place to do to get my CDL, but you still had to, if you got your CDL, you still had to do so many hours with a trainer at Prime, because you weren't experienced. But it all worked out for me in the end. Don't make near the money I used to make. Man, I used to just, if I wanted something, just buy it. Now I'm living paycheck to paycheck for now, because of all the crap that's happened. Completely burnt all my savings out. Damn. But I'm happy. I wanted the appliance business. My wife worked there. She did all the books and answered phones. With her, getting sick, it was really killing her. We were starting to fight, so it was time to get out of that business while the getting was good. But I hear you, man. I really hear you. Sean, how you doing? Giving notice Monday at my 10-year desk job and heading to company training at not Prime. I like that. Not prime. Well, good for you, man. I hope it all works out for you. Um, you don't want to say what company you're going to? That's cool. Um, yeah, congratulations, man. I mean, this is a good living, depending on how you live. There's no way in the world I could have done this living where I used to live. I mean, the nut I had to crack each month, not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Um, but if you've got the right kind of bills, man, you can make a good living here. CLC, you're quite the ladies' man. No, I'm not. I'm freaking. I think they're just desperate or something. um, and I run from them like they got freaking herpes or something. I got married when I was 18 to my wife. And before her, I had a girlfriend from 16 up until I met my wife. So I've been with 2 women my whole life. And that's the way I want it. CLC says, are there a lot of racist truckers? From what I understand, yes. It almost seems like whenever there's CB chatter, if one guy starts arguing with another, the N-word's always brought up. Every single time. You must be a, or 2 guys will be bitching about this other guy sitting in the fuel island, and they'll start, oh yeah, I'm sure he's this. You know, it's like, are you freaking, and I can never not, I always grab the CB and, you know, you guys need to take that shit somewhere else, or you're a freaking CB warrior. Why don't you jump the hell out of your truck and go stand behind, you know, I'll pick a truck. Go stand behind that truck. Let's see who you are. Yeah, they never do. Because freaking probably 15 truck drivers will start pounding on them. Freaking racist garbage. I'm sorry, man. I just can't tolerate racism. You know, to each their own. And if you're racist, more power to you. I mean, I think everyone can do what they want as long as they're not hurting anybody else. And as long as they respect other people. I don't know if you can be racist and respect other people. I guess you could. Yeah, it's hard quitting a job to do this because you're just not sure. What if you just can't drive a truck? You know, what if you just can't get the concept of backing? My freaking truck is still idling. What the frick? How in the hell is it? Hold on, let me just check something. 14.1 volts, so it's I thought maybe it wasn't charging. How in the hell? My brakes set. Yeah, it would have rolled away. How in the hell is this thing still idling? Wait, is it running? Yeah, it's running. Whatever. Okay, let's see. Yeah. You want to play with my tooth? My niece, and again, I'm making fun of a person, but not an individual person. When I say this, my niece lived up in Chico for a while, and I went up there with my sister to visit her. She lived in some, backwoods town, and a lot of people are missing teeth. It's a fact of life. A lot of people can't afford dentists. I'm missing some teeth, but I had dental work done to get them planted back into my head. And I was driving up this road, and this one guy had really buck teeth. I mean, I felt bad for him. They were really bad. And not to the guy, not around the guy, but when I seen my niece, I was like, oh my God, this place is nuts. She goes, what do you mean? I turned and looked at her. I said, I was looking at this guy. He turned and looked at me, and he looked over, and then all of a sudden he smiled, and bing, the freaking hinged ass teeth came popping out of his head. To this day, my other sister, she'll say, oh, are you going to go visit Hinges? Oh, man, I don't know. That was probably stupid. Okay, Ryan says, I keep hearing a lot of stories about dispatchers not treating company drivers very good. Why? I don't, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about that. I'm sure. I'm trying to think. See, my dispatcher. I don't want to go into it about my dispatcher, but I don't think he likes me. I think I pissed him off at one time or two times because he's being kind of a jerk, and I called him on it. And so I think, even though I feel like me and him are starting to click a little bit after meeting him today, I almost want to ask for a new dispatcher, but I don't want to get into it. Um, I know, I know the dispatcher that runs on the lease side that my had when I was with my trainer. He also seemed very moody. Even my trainer used to call him bipolar. One day he'll call you and he'll joke around with you, and the next day he'll call you and he'll be a complete jerk. Um, I called him one time. My trainer said, "Hey, call him and ask him about, this had something to do with something with me and my pay or something." And I called him, and oh my God, he laid into me. Don't you call me ever on the weekend with anything other than something important and has to be taken care of right now. The weekend is a skeleton, and it's like, all right, dude, all you have to do is say, you know what, I can't deal with that on the weekend. It's a skeleton crew, and we don't have time to. Not freaking sit and yell at me about don't ever do this, don't ever freaking do whatever. But I think dispatchers in general are overstressed. I think they probably have too many trucks they're taking care of, especially at a place like Prime where they're constantly getting new students and having to deal with that. So I think it's just a whole attitude thing of them being put in a situation that they're in. Jack, how you doing, buddy? Jack says, you ever think about going lease? Yes. I'm probably going to go lease maybe in April. See what it's all about. I want to get through this winter. I want to get to a point to where I can hammer down and run without having to worry about anything. Why did I, or CLC says, why did I choose my career change? Well, when I was 18, I went to Debbie Dootson driving school. Well, first off, my dad was in the produce business, and we always had box trucks around. I always liked trucks. So when I turned 18, just got married, I went to Debbie Dootson. I was working in the appliance at an appliance company, but I went to Debbie Dootson driving school, and I wanted to become a. Oh, now my truck shut off. That's weird. I wonder why it ran so long. I can just leave it off now. So I went to Debbie Dootson driving school and filled out the paperwork, and they called me in and they said, well, yeah, we can go ahead and charge you the X amount of money to train you. They go, but you're only 18. You can't go over the road until you're 21. And she goes, it would be very hard as a new driver to get a local job. She goes, probably next to impossible. She goes, so you should come back when you're 21. I said, okay, fine. By the time I turned 21, appliance was now a career. Been married for a couple of years, and I just stayed in the appliance business and didn't think of it until about 5 years ago. I started wanting to get out of the appliance business. And started thinking about truck driving again. And I'm like, well, you know what? When I decided to do it last year, it's like my daughter's out of school. She's an adult now. I've been married this year I'll be married 29 years. Oh my God. April, I'll be married 29 years. Wow. So I decided, yeah, let's, talk to the wife about it. She said, yeah, let's do it. And it was a big change. We're going to have to sell the house. We're going to have to move. We had to decide where we were going to move. And so we said, screw it, and did it. I just wanted out of the appliance business so bad. And I always wanted to do this. So I figured, let's give it a shot. Worst case scenario, I can do anything for a year. And, I figured if it wasn't for me, run the year to pay their, so they don't charge me for the loan, and go do something else. But yeah, things are pretty cool. Appliances, I hate keep blaming my medication, but my appliance company, I was always, if you looked at my Yelp reviews and everything, they were always great Yelp reviews. I did work contracted with manufacturers like Whirlpool and Maytag and Frigidaire, all those companies. I did their warranty work, and they would recommend us for COD work, and I was their go-to guy. When there was problems, they would call me, hey man, we're gonna have to return this product if we have one chance to fix it. So and so's been out there, they've been out there. And I would go out there and troubleshoot the thing. I could read schematics. I always say, give me a schematic and give me the complaint and I'll fix it. And if I just didn't know what was going on, my pride wasn't so high that I would just guess. I would call their tech support, and deal with that. So I was a really good company. And then I think it was 6 years ago when I was diagnosed bipolar and started taking this medication. I just slowly but surely couldn't concentrate, and looking at schematics were starting to get confusing. And now appliances are getting really complicated. They're going to butane in the refrigerators, which means no more sweating them together. You got to use these stupid tools, which are going to be a leaking pain in the nightmare. Go back, fixing stuff for free type nonsense. And I think I just got too stupid for it. I was just not feeling confident anymore. And I was like, time to get out of it. Things are just changing. But yeah, a lot has to do with my medication. It messes with your brain. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, Harry says, gotta hit the hay. Hope you do this again. David, keep up the videos. I'm going to keep up the videos. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to be hitting the hay here. And I got to watch a couple Punishers before I go to bed. They're going to call me to fix my truck, man. I'm going to have no sleep when I get on the road. Okay, Sean says, taking 15K pay cut, but no wife anymore, no kids, selling the house, no more strings. Man, the whole no wife, no kid thing anymore, dude, I hope it wasn't like a car accident or anything. I hope it was a good thing. Yeah, I took a big pay cut. I was bringing home net $5,000 a week between me and my wife. So I took a big ass pay cut. My wife right now brings home like 140 a week because she only works part time because she's got RA and can't really work that much. And then I've been averaging 1,000 a week. So yeah, we took a big pay cut. But our mortgage went from almost $2,700 to $450. Our car insurance, our car registration. We were supposed to register it in California, but we were leaving, so we didn't. They wanted $800, I think it was. Missouri, it was $54. Car insurance was cut more than in half. So we're probably on the same. Well, we're a little low because, like I said, now I gotta worry about money a little bit. Before I didn't worry about money. I just didn't have to. Loaded Trucker says, so you live in Missouri. Did you say you moved from California? Yes, I did. I lived in Southern California. I grew up in Southern California in the San Fernando Valley and got married, moved to Glendale, lived in Glendale for a while, then Burbank. and then we moved to Santa Clarita over by Magic Mountain there. And then our final resting ground, then we went to Acton, which is a rural area for our horses and stuff. Lived there for a lot of years, and then we ended up in Palmdale, the Antelope Valley. We had a really nice place there with horse property. You can ride right out the back gate up into the mountains. It was nice, but I couldn't do this and pay for all that. CLC says, guess I'll be staying off the CB. The CB is awesome. Like today, there's a lot of chatter on, what's going on with the weather. All the weather, you get a lot of good weather information out of it. Or, if an accident happens, I leave my CB on while I'm driving. I turn it off once I get to a truck stop or whatnot. But I personally think that having a CB should be a DOT regulation. I really do. I really think the CB helps more than not. When I was on the I-80 and the traffic came to an abrupt stop and I'm sliding, getting there, I called out on the CB, westbound stopping, and which gives guys back there a heads up. Now, they know it's in front of them pretty much, or they can assume it's in front of them because CBs only transmit so far. And I can't remember if I gave them the mile marker. But anyways, if you hear someone calling out on a CB and it's your side of the interstate, you start reacting to it because it's nearby. I've had a guy tell me my headlight was out, and it's like, damn, I just did a inspection and it was getting dark, which, DOT could have got me for that. People call out alligators in the road, tire rubber, hazards. One snowstorm I was in, a guy was calling out that there was a truck stuck half on and half off the road, blocking the first lane. So they're real handy. You just got to turn them off when the jackasses get on there. Don't play their game. Tarmac says, didn't they override it? My idle? No, they're not going to. And as you see, it shut off now. I don't know why it was idling so long. This thing, it's on a 5-minute timer. It gives you 5 minutes and shuts off. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I have something on in the truck that made it idle or what? But no, they won't override it. They basically said that case-by-case basis, just shut me up. Now, chances of me getting into weather like that and breaking down are slim. And if I am in any weather like that, you just go to a hotel. The only sucky thing is you got to have the money to do it. Now, I didn't want to use my ATM card because it's like, I always do that. It's like, no. So what I had them do is they gave me an advance on my Calm Data card, and I just cashed it at the truck stop. Said, here, I need $100 cash. She gave me $100 cash. Now at this pay period, they just take $100, or they just, they refunded me all the money I spent on the hotel. So I got reimbursed for it, and I didn't use it out of my bank because usually I still pay for scale tickets and stuff with my ATM, and they just reimburse it to me. So there is some expenses out here that got to come out of pocket, but you get them back. Yeah, no, they didn't override that idle. They just take me around. It just costs them too much money for guys idling these trucks and burning up the engines. Let's see. Loaded trucker dies the truck. Okay, does the truck keep running below a certain temperature, or maybe it doesn't do that with an APU? No, some of the trucks do. They'll idle if it's below, I forget what it is, or above a certain temperature. This truck does not, and none of the new trucks do. These are some of the old trucks, or it might even be just the lease trucks. I know lease guys can get their idles turned on, or to a point or something. I don't think they get them turned on completely, but I think it's that temperature thing. It is what it is. But yeah, normally you have an APU, you have your bunk heater, and whatnot. Now that I know to take my blanket and throw it in front of my bunk heater, and all that hot air comes up into my bed, it's like sweet now. And then air conditioning, your APU runs the air conditioner, so you don't need to run the truck for that. Okay, so Sean says no kids ever. Good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad that nothing devastating happened to him. And then divorced the wife. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That could be very troublesome. I hope. I don't even know what to say to that. I was going to say I hope it was a good thing, but is divorce ever a good thing? I hope. I'm hoping you guys maybe just grew apart and nobody did anything weird to each other. Um, is that why you're going trucking, though? I'm really curious about that, Sean. Is that why you're going trucking? And I'll tell you why. Is when I was in orientation, again, I love to ask questions. I was talking to all these guys, and you'd be surprised at how many of the guys were there because they just got a divorce and they decided to just screw everything and become a truck driver. Everybody had a story, including me with my appliance thing. Everybody had a story. I don't think one of them was coming. Maybe some of the younger guys, but my group really didn't have any young guys. I don't think there was any young guys, but everybody had a story on why they were doing it. Loaded Trucker says, I understand the idea of downsizing. Cali to Missouri, big difference, no doubt. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. Um, One of the things I found out, I was just telling you about the whole race thing, is I was hiring a handyman to come do some work on my house while I was leaving. And me and him talked about what needs to be done, and everything was cool. And I couldn't believe what he had to say to me when I told him, okay, when can you do it? He goes, well, I can come tomorrow. I said, okay, that's great. He goes, I need to tell you one thing. I said, what's that? He goes, I'm black. You're what? I'm black. Okay. Okay, you're black. He goes, well, I feel the need to tell you that up front. He goes, because you'd be surprised at how many times I go to someone's house, or I went to someone's house, and they don't want me to do the work for them because I'm black. And then he proceeded to tell me how racist Missouri was. And the town I live in is a small town. And he said, and especially because you're in the outskirts of a small town, he goes, it could be really sketchy out there. Um, I was just dumbfounded. I mean, I got right on Facebook. You guys can't believe what the hell I just heard. I mean, my niece and nephew are part black. Um, I know I'm handsome and really white, so you couldn't tell, but I'm half Syrian and Swedish. And then growing up and living in California, that's a melting pot for all races. My wife's Mexican and German, but I couldn't believe that. I mean, it actually disturbed me, and I started looking around my city, and I'm like, what the hell? There's only white people out here. There's freaking, I don't see anybody. Well, my wife's church, there was an Asian guy, but yeah, it disturbs me. Although meeting everybody we met there in the church and everything, no one acts racist, so that's cool. I think the handyman, I think he was a little paranoid because when he came and I went with him to go buy material, he was telling me all kinds of crazy stuff. But I think he was a little paranoid. Okay, CLC says, how many miles a week are you getting? Right now in this crappy weather, not many. Um, I did, I just finished an 1,800-mile run that should have been done easily yesterday. But, the I-80 shut down. Um, Last week, I was broke down. Well, I can tell you this. Last week's paycheck, the one I just got Tuesday, I netted $530 some. That had my breakdown pay in it, though. It had my breakdown pay, and it had the $100 payback for, the hotel and everything. Um, so that last week sucked. This week I'm going to assume, what is today? Today's Thursday. So I got Friday. Hopefully I get out of here early enough tomorrow. So I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then early Tuesday. So I'll have good 4.5 days to run. So hopefully they give me a load that will finish up maybe Monday, or Monday would be great. So give me those miles and not give me 200 miles, 500 miles to where I have to actually work to get those miles in. But I always say you're going to do somewhere between 18 and 2,500 miles. But again, you can't really average it a week, because if you look at my paycheck videos, you'll see you'll have one bad week, one really good week. That's because, like, this 1,800-mile run, I started Sunday or Monday or something, which was before my pay period. So you'll start a run before your pay period ends. Well, that don't get paid on this week. So you might start this run on a Sunday, but finish it Wednesday. Well, you just took Monday and Tuesday of this week's pay period and aren't getting paid for it until next week. So you'll end up with, good week, bad. I shouldn't even say bad week, because, yeah, big pay, littler pay, but you average them together. And as you guys seen with my paycheck videos, I've been averaging over $1,000 a week. Now, this next 4 paychecks, there's no way I'm going to average $400 a week. I mean, $1,000 a week. No way. Damn math. No way is it going to happen. But we'll see how much it is. I'm going to be curious. All right. Let's see. Zerva Blue Paws. Okay, I want to know what that's all about. So where is that how you say your name, Zerva? Is that, hold on, freaking, oh, it disappeared. Yeah, Zerva. That's an interesting name, Zerva Blue Paws. What's the story behind that? Anyways, let's see what you have to say. Welcome, welcome. I have a Peterbilt, and I can idle, have to turn on the cruise and increase RPM 750 to keep it from auto shut off. Don't know if it's the same for Freightliners. It's hit or miss. It was hit or miss with my trainer's truck, and this morning I did that. It's never worked before, because this truck, if you're actually sitting in traffic and haven't moved for 5 minutes, it will start dinging at you, telling you it's going to shut off, even when you're in gear with the brakes on, with the brake on. But tonight it freaking idled for a long time. I don't know why. And this morning it did too. I did the old set the trailer brakes, release the parking brake, idled it up, and it idled for a long time. It ended up shutting off, but it idled for a long time. I was charging my battery. Let's see. CLC says, yeah, I'm 29 and just got a CDL. Right on. Who are you working for, if you don't mind answering that, or if you already answered that, I'm sorry, but I'm just curious. Sean S., that's another thing, memory, with these pills. So I apologize if I asked you guys the same questions. I unfortunately, when they give me doors and whatnot, if I don't write it down, I will forget what they said within a couple of minutes. Door 29. Empty trailers are between 41 and 90. I mean, is that pathetic that I can't? And this is, I keep all my bills in a binder up there. This one's out because I got a $15 gas ticket. I got to call my fleet manager on to get paid back for it because I waited too long. So I'm leaving it out so I don't forget. Okay, Sean says it's all good now. Been 5 years since the big D. Thought about trucking for a long time. I'm 52. Midlife crisis, maybe. Huh. Well, hey, man. Good at you. Good at you. I'm 40. I'm going to be 48 this year. I'm 40. I'm not going to do the math. I think I'm 47. I think I'm going to be 48 this year. Yeah, I'm going to be 48 this year. Yeah, 'cause I'm not going to be 49. So, and I know, I'm pretty sure I'm 47 right now. Um, and if any of you guys say, "Oh, really? I thought you were older," that's what I told my fleet manager. I told him he sounds young on the phone. Fucking old now. Okay, so um, CLC says, "So what? Huh? So what? You lost me. You lost me. What town in Missouri?" Well, I'm going to leave where I actually live a mystery. Um, but I'm 30 miles from Springfield, from the terminal. And everything is 50 minutes or farther from me. So even though I'm 30 miles from Springfield, it takes 52 minutes to get there. Sean says, LOL, David won't say. He has almost let it slip a couple. Oh man, one of my videos, I almost said my fleet manager's name. I was like, oh yeah, and oops. One day I'm gonna screw up because I'm half brain dead. I'm half stupid. Okay, Loaded Trucker says, how did you learn to drive in the winter? I'm wondering how drivers learn that when they are still with a trainer during the winter season. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I highly recommend stay with a trainer during the winter if you have a good trainer. What the hell did I just see back there? Fuck, it did it again. I thought I seen a horse walk by. What? Okay, I see what it was. A truck way back there is going back across the yard, and I seen his drives, which looked like something walking by, and then I looked over in this mirror, and I seen him again, and I looked over there, and I seen him over there. I'm like, what the hell? Well, it was his tractor and then his trailer. Oh, man. I'm telling you, my brains. How did I learn to drive? I read about it, and then just kind of figured. I've driven off-road mud stuff and sand and stuff like that, and dune buggies and dirt bikes and things like that. So I kind of knew the concept of staying steady on the throttle. And obviously don't brake if you don't have to. Don't you at all use your exhaust brake. A lot of guys call it a Jake brake. I have a hard time calling it a Jake brake just because I have to look it up, but I don't think these trucks have Jake brakes. They're engine brakes. Jake is an actual brand of an engine brake, and I think those are like on the old Peterbilts and stuff. But these could have Jakes. I keep wanting to look it up, so I could call it a Jake brake, but I don't feel right calling it a Jake brake if it's not a Jake brand brake. But yeah, I just kind of used common sense and really flew by the seat of my pants and watch everything I've done out here. Even during good weather, I watch what other trucks are doing. Now, I don't mean this bad or anything, but if I see a Prime truck, a Swift truck, CR England truck, any trading truck, I don't really pay attention to what they're doing because you don't know if you have a brand new student doing it. You don't know what the story is there. So I'll keep an eye on owner-operator trucks, things like that, and kind of get an idea of what they're doing. And okay, if they're doing it like that, that's let me try doing it too. And That's how I learned a lot of this stuff. As a matter of fact, coming into the terminal, when you go in inbound and outbound, you beep your horn when you go in and out of the building. My trainer never told me to do that. I started doing that because I seen everybody else doing it. The flashers on your four-ways when you're on the yard or or backing up. Trainer never said to do that. I seen other people doing it, so I realized, oh wait, you know what? Every time those guys go to back up, they hit their four-ways. Whenever someone's on the at a shipper receiver, I usually hit my four-ways as soon as I pull in, or when you're on the yard, your four-ways, because I've seen other people do it. So I learn a lot by watching. I'm one of those guys who, if I see it, I learn it better than reading it in a book. CLC says, yeah, I'm starting at 45 cents per mile. That's good, which isn't too bad compared to other rates I've heard. Yeah. Nah, man, you should come over here and get yourself in a lightweight. I think you get like 49 cents a mile. Being a little lightweight truck, but you know what? I mean, it's bigger than a coffin sleeper in a old Peterbilt. Loaded Trucker says, I have heard that racism is very bad in some rural areas of the U.S. I'm sure it is. I kid you not. After I bought my house, me and my daughter, we were putting our camper in an area, and I had to cut some tree branches down. And I'm cutting the branches, and I noticed this chain up there. What the hell is that? And it's to hang stuff on. And I immediately thought to myself, no way. Because my house is 120 some years old. It actually, the way it's built, the bathroom was added on, and it looks like the two upstairs bedrooms and giant closet. You actually entered those from outside the house. And I'm thinking to myself, you gotta be kidding. Then I realized, no, you know what that's for? Freaking probably hanging deer and stuff. But that freaked me the hell out. It's like, get the hell out of here. And then we also found out that the old owners, a lot of people know, I mean, they were, I almost just said who the old owners were. They were really popular, and a lot of people know us by our truck because they drive by and they've seen that truck in the driveway, and they'll, oh, you live in such and such's old house. So we got a lot of history on the house. He was a pretty cool dude. He was a mason. He actually died in the house in the downstairs room. But he was pretty cool, so I ain't worried about ghosts. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of these little backwards ass towns got a lot of racism going in them. The town I live in has got like 1,200 people and 16 churches. Crazy, huh? CLC says, I'm saying, I'm saying, so what to the guy saying he's black? I'm saying, so what to the guy saying he's black? Huh. Not 100% following you there. Rest area or truck stop, definitely rest area when you can. You save yourself money. You can get in and out. 30-minute breaks are great in rest areas. Truck stops when you have to. CLC says, and do you do reefer? Yeah, I'm a reefer driver. I drive that noisy ass reefer. Okay, Zach, what are you LOLing at? What did I miss? What did I miss? Okay, Zach says, you're confusing him, bro. Oh, man. No, they drug test you. I can't smoke reefer. Although my wife did for a while till we moved to Missouri. They don't have medical marijuana out here. Plus, she's like gonna quit anyways. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, look up Lamictal or Lamotrigine, either one. That shit will mess your brains up. CLC says, nah, you said the handyman said he was black. I bet you were thinking, so what? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was thinking, so what? I didn't understand where he was going with it for a minute until he, said, well, because, some people are funny about that. And my niece, it's funny, my niece and nephew are half black. My other niece, she's not. She's all white. She's married to a black man. And they were telling me how sometimes he goes to places and they'll see he's black and they'll like, oh, well, no, I forgot what he was doing. He was a mover for a while. And they would, oh, yeah, we changed our mind, or, this, that, and the other. So it's like, what the hell is wrong with people? I mean, we're all freaking bleeding red. Zach says, he said, so what, when you were talking about the black guy at your house? So he said, why? Yeah. And again, LOL. Okay, CLC says, what does CLC stand for, by the way? Yeah, I get where I get where his mind was at. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that kind of sucks. Zach says you go down to parts of rural Arkansas and Texas, want to be Aryans, okay? Want to be Aryans all over the place, like it's normal. Yeah, that's pretty crappy. Just your initials, okay. Okay, some of those, some of the initials and stuff can mean something really funny. You just don't know. Well, guys, I'm beat. What time is it? Like 1:00,000? I think I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta get some Punisher in, and oh my god, goodness, 3.5 hours. Wow. CLC says, I don't see them much in Texas. Where I'm at, thankfully. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. You guys have been great. I appreciate you guys coming in and chit-chatting with me. That was awesome. And, yeah, I mean, 3.5 hours. I think I'll leave this video up for a little while and see if anybody actually watches it. I'd be really. I've watched a 7-hour live feed one time. Or I didn't watch it. I listened to it while driving. I had 7 hours of entertainment, man. Oh, thanks for that would be cool if you subscribe. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Loaded Trailer. I enjoyed chatting with you also. Zach, thank you. You say stay safe too. I'm going to try not to freeze. And good night, Loaded Trailer. Charmac, thanks for the info. Keep up the good videos. I'm going to try, man. I'm going to try. I'll probably do another live video. See, I had good signal here, so I did a live. But I-80, you have no signal, man. No signal. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. And I can't remember how to shut this